Hello, everyone, and welcome to Eternal Mooncast, Bishoujo Senshi Slumber Party, the Twitch show for Moonies who want to play games and talk about Sailor Moon. But first, a quick Moonie disclaimer. We want to remind everybody that these are just our personal opinions. We do not represent Toei Animation or Sailor Moon intellectual property in any way. We invite you to join the discussion when we stream live on Twitch and whenever we premiere on YouTube. But welcome, everybody. We are so glad to have you back for another Moonie Game Night.
Ready for me to take it away?
Go for it.
All right. Hey, everyone. I'm Monica, one of your hosts. I am a Sailor Moon cosplayer and longtime fan, big nerd in every other regard. And tonight, we are going to play... We're going to make ourselves a tier list. But this is not just any tier list. This is a tier list of which member of the Sailor Moon cast would you like to solve your murder.
Yeah.
So Relia has the categories of our tier list and the order in which we're going to sort them. So if you could go ahead, introduce yourself, and walk us through how exactly we're going to rank all these characters.
Absolutely. I am Relia. I am also a lifelong Sailor Moon fan and a Sailor Moon cosplayer. And I've put together a starting set of tiers for us to go through. And hopefully most characters will fit into one of these categories. If not, we will add a new category for them as agreed upon by the group. So the first category, this is the ideal. These are the people who will solve your murder. This is the cream of the crop. Then we have another category that I like to call Starseed 'em all, let the cauldron figure it out. Let's just say that vengeance will be achieved one way or another. There might be some broken eggs along the way, but there's going to be a solution that will be arrived. The next category is this is the category for those of us who are a little more realistic. These are people who will do their best, but probably not solve your murder. Not everyone can be a winner. Then we've got the category for definitely will not try to solve your murder. And finally, of course, is the murderer.
Oh my god.
This is the category for characters who are the murderer.
I'm here for it.
So hopefully we can agree who's going to meet each of these categories. We can figure it as we go. We will litigate whether people are using their powers, using their resources, whether they can work with other people in order to achieve these goals. And I think that will affect our decision making somewhat because obviously this is a teamwork based show.
Yes, and sorry, Sailor Denzel, your comment got cut off, but Sailor Denzel says, hi, happy Saturday.
Hi,
Hello,
Sailor Denzel.
Happy Saturday.
Thanks for coming back.
Yes, thank you coming back. All right, so I am so excited for this game because this is going to get peak ridiculousness of the level of nerdity that we're going to get here.
So if you remember from last time we played a similar tier maker game, that time we were doing Kiss, Marry, Dumpster. Where we sorted our characters into whether we would kiss them, marry them, or just simply throw them in the trash. In which a character was presented, the three of us discussed why we would do any of these things, and then the group came to a consensus about what category we were putting this in. And so we're going to be doing the same thing here, where we're going to present a character from the vast library of characters in Sailor Moon. We're going to discuss, each one of us give our opinions on what level of involvement in the murder they might have, and then debate spiritedly what category they're ultimately going with. And unlike last time, we don't need to leave children out. So that'll be fun.
Correct. We can let children solve murders or try.
What is that? Anime detective it's like detective. Oh, what was Case Closed?
Conan?
Yes.
Yeah. There are amazingly a number of anime in which children solve murders. Children can do anything in the world of animation.
Japan doesn't have the corner on children solving murders. That is a story lots of people love.
Admittedly, very true. Admittedly, wholly true.
Did you not read Encyclopedia Brown and Nancy Drew and all of those is the Hardy Boys and other things that are very dated? You can still read books about children who solved murders? I sure hope they do.
I hope they do. I think there's probably some books that, like, incidentally, there might be some murders solved along the way. I bet you anything that in the Percy Jackson books, there's definitely some murders that the kids solve.
Oh,
If
probably.
I had to guess. And I think that if you look at something like A Series of Unfortunate Events now that is now older as a series, which is amazing because that means I'm old. But if you look at A Series of Unfortunate Events, they definitely solve some murders because there are definitely some murders. Yeah, I do think that there's still some like kidlit where there's some murders and some children band together to solve them. I
Oh
hope
man.
so.
Let
Otherwise,
us
kids
know in the
today would be missing
comments.
out.
Yeah, let us know
Yeah,
in the comments.
This is
Sound
going
off.
on YouTube.
Sound off.
Yeah. Yeah, let us know in the comments. Do children still solve murders? I need to know.
Yep. And if you have examples of like, particularly ridiculous murders that are solved by children, I'm interested in that. I want to know, like, what is the crazy stuff that is getting solved by children?
Yes. All right. So shall we dive into it?
Yeah, let's take it away.
Absolutely. We're going to start. Because of the tier list base that we're using, we're starting off with some big guns. So let us discuss whether or not Hotaru Tomoe, Sailor Saturn, can solve your murder. Do we want her investigating our murder?
What version? Because there's a couple versions of her that I'd be like,
okay, so when we did Kiss, Marry, Kill, it was like they're in their Sailor Senshi forms. They're like in the mythical adult form, right? But that's off the table this time. So are we talking about them as like the whole? Or are we talking about like sickly kid, early Infinity Arc Hotaru? Or are we talking about happy teen raised by the Outers Hotaru? Because I think sickly kid Hotaru from the Infinity Arc just doesn't have time to solve your murder.
She
just
doesn't.
does. She's fallen apart. She's super depressed. Her dad is trying to turn her.
She is frankly surrounded by murders,
Uh-huh.
which she probably already thinks she knows the solution to, and I feel like our murder would fall into that. So I don't think that sickly Hotaru would be solving any murders, even with her Sailor Saturn powers. I don't think like they give her Sailor Saturn powers are like pretty vast and pretty cosmic, but I don't think that they give her insight into things that she doesn't, that she wouldn't have known via experience. I don't think that is within her remit. So I don't think that as Sailor Saturn, she necessarily is equipped to solve our murder. And I agree that as sickly Hotaru, she's not solving our murder.
Yeah,
Not
at all.
That version would be and definitely will not try to solve your murder. Like, it's just not happening. I'm sure she would love all to be solved. But yeah, she doesn't. She can't. But
I'm going to put forward.
Go ahead.
That Sailor Saturn herself, her remit is only Starseed them all.
Starseed them all.
Yeah, Sailor Saturn.
Cosmically
Sailor
so.
Saturn.
Yes.
Yeah, cosmically so. Now, I'm going to also put forward that happy child Hotaru raised by the Outers is going to try to solve your murder. She's going to be the protagonist of a child mystery series.
Oh, that I could see because she's so clever. She's like genius intelligent in that version.
She is that like very old child, that child that has the wisdom of the ages. So I do think she would like set out and like develop this, well-reasoned plan for how she's going to go about solving your murder between like getting her appy juice and crackers. Because she's still it's like that particular version of Saturn is still quite young. That's not going to stop her. But
doesn't she have magic puberty at one point?
She does, but I don't think it takes her that far because she's still pretty like short and small. Like I think she's still not implied to be up to the level of any of the girls who are in high school by that point.
No, I think she catches up to Chibiusa.
Yeah, I think that's about where she's at, which also doesn't give us a definite age because what do we even know what grade Chibiusa has been enrolled in? Because clearly she's in school at one point when she's in Japan in the past. They enroll her in school. She has classmates, but I don't know that we know how old they are. Just that obviously they're not in They're not in high school, and I don't think they're in junior high.
She's in school.
Yeah, she's in a school receiving an education. Good
She's
thing
in
for her.
primary
education
school.
somehow.
Yeah.
They're a great age for kids solving a murder. But do we think she can do it?
Hotaru
I-
2.0.
Yeah, I do think Hotaru 2.0 can do it.
I think if any kid that we're going to see on this tier list can do it, I think Hotaru can do it. Like, I
Yeah.
think of the kids, she's the one that I think could actually do it. So, do we want to allow that she would, in fact, solve our murder?
If it's 2.0 Hotaru, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Also,
we
I
don't
figured
have the
out-
opportunity on this list to rate the other Hotarus, but
I didn't think I had a middle grade novel in me, but maybe I have to write Hotaru solving murders.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
I think I agree that Sailor Saturn, specifically her remit, is indeed Starseed 'em all, let the cauldron figure it out, but that she won't do that. Like, she could, and that is her only magical solution to solving your murder if she had to do it magically. But she's not going to do that. We know she is, in fact, highly averse to killing everyone and letting the cauldron sort it out.
It's true.
So that is
True.
she could, but wouldn't.
She's could
Very
but
true.
not gonna.
All right, so let's talk Sailor Pluto. Setsuna.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm being real, she could absolutely solve our murder. Like, she
Oh, yeah.
just she has the magical power to travel through time and witness who murdered us. She can do that.
Oh, that's
Um,
easy. So she wins. Like, how can you fight that?
because that's not traveling through time, I don't think is against any of her rules. She's not allowed to stop time. She's not allowed to leave the door. But clearly lots of time travel happens. I think she certainly could do it and could do it rather easily. And it would be nice if she changed the arc of the future by saving us, but I don't think she's allowed to do that.
Because that's the thing. There is versions of her that is stuck at the door.
I think she's always supposed to be stuck at the door, that kind of gets thrown by the wayside after she stops time and is brought back from the dead, and there are no rules for her anymore.
True. Fair. All right. I'm fine with her solving it.
And also, like, she's a super genius.
And a goddess.
So,
She's
yeah.
yes, she's
Yeah.
all of
If,
those
if
things.
there's anyone on this roster who is solving your murder, we gotta
It's gonna
go
be
with her.
Pluto.
She's just solving our murder. It's just
Yeah.
straight up, she can do it.
Yep.
All right, we get into a couple of starlights here, so let's talk about Sailor Star Healer, Yaten, and whether we think Yaten can or will even bother to try solving our murder.
I'm not gonna care.
Yeah, I'm gonna put them firmly in the category of.
I genuinely agree. Like, I think that we know that the starlights are here already on a pre-existing mission, and they're spending most of their time doing that. Yeah, they do occasionally go play skee ball or whatever in their downtime, but they're on a mission. They're here to do that. They can't be bothered with all this other stuff. Like, they're not solving human murders of someone that probably in this setup, let's say we're some sort of one-off episode character. They're
Mhm.
not bonding with a one-off episode character fast enough to give a crap about our murder. Yaten is not that kind of person. I think Yaten definitely will not try to
Will
solve your
not try
murder.
to solve. No, it's not gonna try. You spun that as they have a mission, they're too busy, and I was like, no, they just don't care.
They just don't care.
No, they don't care. I just think because we haven't established who we are in this scenario
Fair enough.
that one of these characters would or would not care. And reasonably speaking, we probably have to be some sort of we're some special episode. We're the character of that episode who is featured, and unfortunately in being featured in that episode, we get murdered. Usually we will have formed a connection with somebody. Like, a lot of the characters in this cast can meet someone for one episode and be invested in solving their murder. If they're like, oh no, I made a personal connection with that person, and then they die, and I have to solve that. But Yaten is not that kind of person. And it's not like with Yaten, there's no version where we could be an NPC who they've been friends with for years, because they haven't.
Sailor Denzel, Yaten's gonna be like thoughts and prayers,
Thoughts and
LOL.
prayers.
So they haven't been on this planet long enough to have like long-standing friends that they have a deep bond with. I think Yaten is capable of forming deep bonds with someone, hypothetically. But that's not a thing that could happen because of who the Starlights are and the fact that they've only been here for a minute. So I just think Yaten doesn't care and won't try.
Yaten cares about cats. Like, Yaten would save Luna as a cat, but not as a human.
Fair. Yaten, maybe would solve Luna's murder.
Yeah, maybe. Big maybe, but all right.
Now we're gonna kick it over to another of the Starlights, and let's talk about Seiya and whether Seiya would be more motivated to solve the murder of someone that they have just met, and if that being more motivated is sufficient for them to actually bother trying to do it or not. And then could they if they do?
Seiya? It's up in the air for me because I feel like Seiya really has a hero complex, and Seiya
Oh, yeah.
likes being the hero of the. Seiya would do it for the attention and the news press of being the hero.
Yeah, Seiya's definitely gonna try.
Agree.
I don't know if Seiya is going to succeed.
Yeah, here's my argument on why I think Seiya will not succeed. I think
Okay, let's
Seiya
hear
will
it.
not succeed because let's again recall that the Starlights are aliens from a whole other star system far away who've been on Earth for like a couple of months. And in that time, they've figured out how to form a rock band. I don't think that like the complexities of like Earth's justice system or how to collect evidence and what resources are available. Like, I don't think Seiya knows enough about what the options are on Earth to solve a murder or like what norms, like to be able to do an interview with some suspects and figure out what things of the story don't make sense. Like, to be able to say, no, of course you couldn't have gone to the store for 5 minutes because you can't get there that fast because we don't have transportation that goes that fast. Or you would have to take the subway and that would take way longer than blah, blah, blah. Seiya doesn't have any of that basic knowledge of what is normal to be able to pick apart someone's like shoddy alibi. So I think Seiya would give it a great shot and just be terrible at it.
Yeah, like, I'm trying to think. The only time I can remember Seiya doing anything with justice is whenever they were playing, like, the Power Rangers. Remember that episode where they were acting as, like, the Power Rangers in a live action?
Vaguely.
Yes.
Vaguely. That's the only thing I can think of, and I'm like, if Seiya is playing by Power Ranger rules for investigating a murder, this could get out of hand real quickly.
Yeah, I think if you've learned most of your knowledge of like human society from like TV shows, yeah, you might have a problem.
So what are our options? Again, sorry, it's hard to read the categories in my program.
Yep. Will solve your murder? Starseed them all, let the cauldron figure it out. Will do their best, but probably not solve your murder.
That
Definitely
one.
won't try to solve your murder. Okay, yep, will do their best, but probably not solve your murder. Sorry, Seiya, you tried.
Like, I genuinely feel like Seiya will. Yes.
Let's be honest, Seiya will write a song about it. So true. So true.
Oh my god, I can see it. It would be a sad mopey song too.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Now, our next one's an interesting one because this is Princess Kakyo. And while she is like also an alien and she spent no time in human society, like has almost no time to meet anyone, I still don't necessarily think that that's a strong argument for her like not trying to solve our murder or necessarily not succeeding at solving our murder. Like she's our like princess of wisdom.
True. And doesn't she like literally use tarot cards in her attack?
I'm trying
I
really
think
hard
she-
to remember.
I didn't know that I don't remember her using tarot cards. I do remember her using playing cards. But maybe it's tarot and I'm misremembering it. Because I know it's like she does Starlight Royal Flush.
It's something to do. I just remember because it was in a trailer for the new Cosmos movie.
Maybe she does use tarot cards. I'm
Hang on.
misremembering.
Yes. Now am I wrong? Am I just making things up? Maybe I'm just like
Ryan. I sort of vaguely remember something with cards, but I don't remember when it happens. When does she use her attack?
They're in space. It's pretty late along.
It's towards the end.
It's
right?
after she's fine. She doesn't even transform into Sailor Kakyu until, or Sailor Kinmoku until pretty far along. And then she uses, I want to say again, Starlight Royal Flush, like once, and then gets shanked.
I got distracted.
I found
Galaxia. What?
Okay, I found something. You always get distracted by Galaxia.
Text, by the way.
Now we're consulting both the new and the ancient text. So this is her. Oh, it's that brief half second that you can see the cards, but otherwise you can't ever see them. See, it's impossible.
Yeah, you would have to be on YouTube where you could play it at a really low speed.
Yeah,
like a video, not a story.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's completely hard to tell. If anybody in the comments knows, please sound off, but
yeah, we've gone on a diversion in which we want to know whether Sailor or whether Princess Kakyu uses tarot cards or just regular playing cards.
And the question is, does she have her starlights to help her? Is she alone?
I think she can solve your murder, given that she's a pretty smart lady, and capable of patience and dedicated thought.
Yeah, I feel like. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, and I am trying to remember if she has a divination thing going on.
It's very hard because again, we'll have to consult the ancient texts.
Yeah, because
I'm still consulting.
We have no idea when we're getting the movie. We still have no idea.
Okay, all right. So she just transformed. She's now Sailor Kinmoku. She's like, I'm a Sailor Guardian. Everyone is like, what? No way. Okay, so what she throws is she says Starlight's Royal Straight Flush, but what she throws is the Yu-Gi-Oh! Ass card that Galaxia threatens Usagi with.
Oh, Sailor okay. So
okay, yeah. Those are, I hate to say, those are absolutely like Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards.
Oh my god,
they look like Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards. So I'm not
Girlfriend has been playing a CG the whole time. And we were like, ooh, is it tarot cards or is it playing cards? No, she plays
Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards.
And it's some sort of deep space Yu-Gi-Oh! Card because Galaxia also has one.
I bet you that in the bar at the center of the galaxy, a lot of people play that card game.
They're
just, you can show up and find a tournament on Saturday nights. They're like, it's time for Galaxy the Gathering.
See, I swear to see, Twitch's Spades agrees with us.
They Yu-Gi-Oh! Ass looking cards.
Excellent.
They're
Love
playing
that for her.
whatever the fuck card game they're playing in that one arc of Hunter x Hunter.
And it adds up. They're married.
Because they're married. So maybe she does do some sort of cartomancy. I'm not going to put that off the table. I can see that being in her purview, though it is a read on the character. It is not canon. It's not tech. But I think she has the ability to solve your murder and the motivation to do so. So I'm going to say top tier will solve your murder.
Agreed. I want to agree with that. And I think narratively, she has interestingly, she's in the right position to be the outsider who comes into a nest of drama and solves the mystery. Your classic various Agatha Christie mysteries, things like that, where you've got your detective who comes in and is the one person who doesn't know everybody and has to figure out all these relationships.
Oh yeah,
she's
really
gonna
glass onion this shit for sure.
Definitely.
Yes. Love that for her.
Yeah.
She is solving our murder, and I believe in her. And I think she'll do it with elegance and grace.
Now I want a fanfic series about Kakyu solving
murders.
Please write it. Leave it in the YouTube comments. Link us to AO3. I will be right there.
If it already exists,
fanfiction.net.
Send it to us. Yeah.
Oh, 100%. 100%. If it already exists, we share the wealth.
We want to read it. Yeah.
All right.
All right. So next up in the lineup, we have Sailor Jupiter, Makoto. And I did want to establish, I think that it's worthwhile to say that generally, let's assume that characters are solving this on their own, because otherwise a lot of these will end up having the same answer, which is that they will all pool their resources to solve your murder,
Fair.
which I think makes it less interesting. So
She's
in this case, it's a special episode where the character is on vacation and they have to do it by themselves.
She always has a good heart. That I'll say about Jupiter. Jupiter always seems like she genuinely wants to do the right thing.
Yeah.
And she puts other people before herself.
Always.
Yeah, I definitely think Jupes is going to try. She wants to help. I don't know if she's going to succeed.
Fair.
Mako has some brain cells, but they're not for that.
I don't know. I think lots of, being realistic, lots of perfectly normal, perfectly intelligent characters or humans couldn't necessarily solve a murder.
No.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make you stupid to not be able to solve a murder. Lots of murders do go unsolved in the world.
It's true.
So I think it's not necessarily a strike against a character's intelligence that they can't necessarily solve your murder. And I think being realistic, lots of people would try to solve a murder and probably not succeed. That's why there are so many true crime podcasts of people who think they're going to solve a murder by podcasting about it.
And then Twitch of Spades coming in saying, I liken her to Officer Sato in Case Closed, Detective Conan. She's taken the perp down, but Conan is figuring out who did it.
I think she could definitely do that. I think she could do that. Like she's the sort of police constable character. She's the let's say she's probably would be better suited to the role of a John Watson prior to Jam Watson, prior to when he was like flanderized into being silly bumbling man. When he was like, oh no, he's a doctor, he's got skills, he's intelligent, and he helps Sherlock Holmes. And I think that would be a better role for her. But I agree that on her own, she will do her best. She will do her best, but she will probably not solve your murder.
Okay, yeah, no, I totally agree with that. All right, and then who? Oh, we have.
All right, now, yeah. So not just because that's my girl.
Right.
I'm going to say this is a clear-cut case where she will solve your murder. And I'm going to say that because unlike, you know how earlier I was like, it is not Saturn's remit to just know things that are not within her province to know. It is specifically Neptune's remit to be able to look into her special magic mirror and have it just give her information. That is very specifically a thing that she canonically can do and does all the time. It is the best. Her main contribution often to the team is like, let me magically source some information that otherwise shouldn't be able to be obtained. Oh, look, I looked in my mirror and got the answer. There you go. I think very strongly, like, she will solve your murder. Now, here's the hitch. Is she trying to solve your murder? I feel like we have to make a case for how we made a connection with her in our episode that would make her want to solve a murder. It's not that she's a bad person who like doesn't care about solving people's murders, but she's also a busy person who might be like, look, this is a job for the authorities. I will let them do it. So let's instead figure out like how did we connect with her such that she's like, oh, I like you. I'll solve your murder.
I'm not going to lie, low-key, I can see her being in the Let the Galaxy Cauldron sort.
Yeah, I have to agree that I have to agree with both aspects, that one, Michiru constantly saying cryptic shit, and the person burdened with future sight. That's like her whole arc in every version, right? Like,
yes.
Yep.
Yeah, like she sees the dark future, and that is weighing on her, which includes your dark future. So perhaps I will say that she's certainly on board to solve your murder as long as your death is part of the greater plot. Yes.
As long as you're not just a background character, you'll
right.
live.
Yeah, like just a random person who got killed, well, that's too bad for you. If you are a person who got killed and it is somehow connected to whatever sort of grand doom is looming on the horizon, if you got murdered by the Deathbusters, she's fucking solving your murder.
Done. And then, Twitch of Spades also comes in. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. But Twitch of Spade says, I don't know, magic powers aside, I feel like she and Uranus would make a formidable crime-busting duo. Together, they'd be unstoppable. But herself alone, I still lean towards Galaxy Cauldron. But what do you two think?
I think, I think, I don't know if we think we need a new category for will solve your murder if they care enough. I feel like that's splitting hairs too much for the
Yeah,
purpose
if
of
they're
these
gonna
categories.
Yeah, if they're gonna solve your murder in some capacity, we're making up who we are in this story. So
Exactly. And if we got an episode, it means we're plot
So if
relevant.
she's
Yeah,
So
if
plot
she's gonna
related.
yeah, let's pretend it's always plot related in some regards. So if she's gonna
Yep.
solve the murder, she's gonna solve the murder.
Yeah, that works.
the murder will just be solved very quickly, very cleanly. It won't even, you will have to have a B plot in that episode because she will
She'll
solve
be
it too
done.
quick.
True. Is that Mamo?
That is Mamoru. Sweet Mamoru. Will he solve our murder?
No.
I think he'll try.
Oh, he's gonna try, but is he gonna succeed? Absolutely not.
I think while he doesn't, here's the thing. I don't think he expects to succeed because I think he's probably pretty realistic about the limits of his abilities. But I do think he would try. And the reason I think he would try rather than being like, look, this is a remit of the authorities is because what we do know is that, like, one of Mamo's few defining personality traits is that, like, he will just kinda go off on his own without consulting anybody else and just try to do stuff even if he's woefully unqualified to do it.
Fair.
Like, his entire existence as Tuxedo Mask, a lot of the unilateral decisions that we see him make, like in the 90s anime in R when he's just like, I've decided to break up with Usagi and not explain to her why because I had some dreams about it. Like he just boy makes a lot of unilateral decisions, which I think does make sense for someone who was orphaned, and isn't accustomed to relying on other people. So I do genuinely think that he would try, even though it's pointless for him to try because he can't do it. Um, but I don't think he can do it. He doesn't have any particular. He's like a med student.
So I'm gonna go to bat for Mamoru for a second.
All right, let's hear it.
Because we are forgetting a couple important things about his character.
Okay.
One of which is that his key power is psychometry, and that he can touch an object
things. Yeah,
and read it and know what has happened to
Yeah.
them. And
Oh,
people. He can touch
true.
people and read them, and like that's not even his
You know what?
transformed power. That's
No,
just
he does
what
that
gets
just as
for being
Mamoru,
the
for
Prince of
being
the Earth.
the Prince of Earth. Yeah.
like
No, you've made a
he
really
just
good
has
point.
that.
Oh.
And he's a really smart guy, and
Mm.
his purview is basically like being the defender. So I think he has a bigger leg up than we're giving him credit for.
I think you're right, and I think in fact you're so right that this is like the premise of other shows that have existed. Like if you look at a show like, is it called iZombie, the one where she solves mysteries by eating people's brains?
yes.
I think that is the same concept, which is that he's not eating anybody's brain, but like this could very clearly be the premise of a show if it is not indeed already one. And I think it is based on oh shit, based on a Stephen King novel, which then became a movie with Christopher Walken in it. But then they made a TV show based on it, and I'm pretty sure, basically, like touching things, the person could solve the murders. I'm gonna look it up while you guys are vamping in some way.
Okay, so what
IMDb.
list do we want to put him in? Is he gonna
Christopher-
solve it, or is
I'm way farther back than that.
which
Yeah.
is
Also, the comic book Chew is specifically about a detective who has like psychometry, but he has to like put it in his mouth.
oh that's
Yeah.
cool.
So yeah, similar to
Yeah.
iZombie.
Yes.
Yeah,
So-
there's definitely a theme of people touching things, learning stuff, and like solving murders. I'm gonna
Yeah.
find this.
I
Okay,
agree. He's gonna try.
I think my vote is I think he, I already went to bat for him. I think with his particular suite of powers, I think he can do it. That's where I stand. Mamoru gets my vote of confidence.
Yeah, I think I'm absolutely with you on this. The movie is called The Dead Zone. The movie / the book is called The Dead Zone. And is basically about that. It's an oldie but a goodie. It has Christopher Walken in it. You should check it out if you like older Stephen King movies. But yeah, we're gonna pop Mamoru into solving our murder. Good
All
for him.
right. I've been convinced.
All right, so we've resurrected. Oh no! All right, so are we No, I think our murder happens in the Silver Millennium, in the age of the Silver Millennium Kingdom. I want to be clear: the Silver Millennium, despite all appearances, is not the name of the era. It's not the name of the time period, although you would think so. It is the name of the kingdom. The kingdom is called the Silver Millennium. So, in the age of the Silver Millennium Kingdom,
I always thought it was like a Vegeta situation.
but
Yeah.
I think of the Silver Millennium Kingdom in the time of during
Yeah.
the Silver Millennium is a fair argument.
Are we sure she's not the one who killed everybody? That's just my thought.
I know you are a very strong proponent of Queen Sudan.
I had to get it in. I just had to get one.
Just principal deity things.
Yeah. So we're murdered in her kingdom. I don't think she's trying to solve our murder. That's not her job.
Absolutely not. She is not trying at all.
She has people for that.
Yeah. I think I agree. I'm of two minds a little bit. I do want to discuss it a little bit before we just throw.
Okay,
go
for it. This is how they're
right. This is the content, right? Because principal deity basically, which and selflessness and compassion are in her purview, but she's still an all-powerful space god. So you have to look at it at the point that she looks at everything at the 30,000 foot view, right? That is the trouble with being a god. You have infinite amount of time, but everyone else doesn't, which messes with your human empathy, right? It doesn't mean that you don't care.
Yeah.
And so I think she would care about solving your murder, but not on a time scale that she's or she'll be like, that's gonna resolve into your next life, right? And that was look at it in a long-term compassionate way, in that well, you were destined to die here, and you are going to pass on to your next life, which will be better. So there's no point. There's no need to solve it, right? I think you have to put Buns the First into a certain amount of perspective when you're thinking about how she's going to behave in this situation.
Very fair. So what category do we like her for then?
I think we can go put it right back into the technically not going to try. Because even my argument that I just wanted to frame that as more she's not a callousness. It's more of she has a vision that you couldn't possibly comprehend.
Right.
So I agree with Sailor Denzel. She knows who did it, but she's going to pretend like she doesn't.
I hope that every time we do a tier list, it becomes a long running thing that Michi always comes in with the okay, but Queen Serenity is evil, and here's what I say she would fall in, because I'm delighted every time.
I have the most unpopular opinion in the fandom. Let's go.
All right, then we have sweet precious Usagi, Sailor Moon, who she can do many things. The silver crystal.
Put her right there next to Seiya.
No,
just put her right there next to Seiya and Makoto. We know the answer to this
I
one.
was I want to do the lead-in, which is that of course we know that she has the power to perform miracles, and if there were a tier on here for she will bring you back to life, she'd be on that one. She would find a way to do that. But that's not a tier that is on here. There's because regardless of whether you later get brought back to life, we want to know whether she's solving your murder. Other than in the sense of okay, she brings you back to life and then asks you who murdered you. That's not solving your murder. That's just bringing you back and you making an accusation.
You know that Mystery Files meme of Shane Bidet being like, "I've solved it." Ryan Figueroa's like, "No, you haven't." I put them together. No, you haven't. Yeah, it's just Usagi I've solved the murder, and everyone else is like, "No, you haven't.
No, you haven't.
Solved it. I haven't done shit. I've solved it."
Agreed.
If this were the episode, everyone else would spend the time solving the murder, and Usagi would have a B plot about I don't know, really wanting French fries, and Ami would be the person who actually figures the whole thing out, and at the end, Usagi brings the dead person back to life, and then it's like, who did it? And they're like, Queen Beryl, and she was like, I've solved it. That's how it would go.
Oh my god. It's so true.
There's two possibilities. One possibility is that is exactly how that would go. The other possibility is that everyone else is off solving the murder. Usagi does not even know that the murder occurred. Usagi has been trying to get French fries. In the course of her long involved B plot about French fries, she accidentally meets the murderer and then accidentally, through hijinks, catches the murderer. And then later finds out that it's the murderer. Like, I think that those are the two possibilities of where that episode with French fries is going.
Yes.
But she's not solving her murder. Bless her heart.
No, but she's gonna do her very best.
Great news, she's got company. Next up, we've got Chibiusa.
Oh boy. Now, here's the thing. I kind of believe a little more in Chibiusa than I do Usagi.
Carol, I'm not going to argue, but let's hear it.
I just, especially manga, having reread the manga, Chibiusa actually knows what she's doing in the manga. Like, genuinely, besides the fact that she messes everything up and then takes a crystal but all that, like, genuinely, like, manga Chibiusa is able to use critical thinking. So, like, she's already a step ahead.
Yeah, she's a pretty smart kid. She has the benefit of having Mamoru as the dad. Okay.
Uh-huh.
I think I'll listen to put that up on the screen. Chibiusa is the murderer.
Done.
Which I think I'm going to entertain.
All right, let's go with it.
First off, we know she is perfectly fine with the idea of using a gun. Secondly, she has been 8 for 900 years, and if anyone is going to fucking snap, I think it might be her. So, like, Julia just said she can have a little murder as a treat. I don't know if you heard her.
Yes.
Wicked Lady is on here. Maybe Chibiusa is the murderer when she's Wicked Lady. So maybe we can put a pin in that, Ben.
Yes.
But Chibiusa is smart. You are 100% correct. Got way more brain cells online than her mom, which is not particularly a difficult thing to say or do or accomplish.
Mamoru is her parent, and he was like top of his class med student.
True.
Yeah.
So she has to get something from her dad.
Yeah. It's clearly his brain.
But do we think, like, although she is smarter than Usagi, do we think she's smart enough on her own to solve a murder on her own, single-handedly?
Detective Conan style, like, see it.
I like thinking about this as like the episode about the murder. The question then becomes like, who annoys her so much that she gets distracted from trying to solve the problem? Because a lot of the times in both, more so in the 90s show than in the manga, like, the reason Chibiusa doesn't do something is because someone else is causing her a problem. Like, someone else is treating her like a child, or, or getting in her way. Often it's Usagi, but like, someone else is giving her hell, and she doesn't really have the wherewithal or the emotional maturity to deal with it. So she just acts like a brat because she's permanently. And so the question is, what other character is getting in the way? And I could see that being the plot of the episode, that she's the A plot is Chibiusa attempting to solve this, but it's not really working out because someone else. Because Usagi's quest for French fries keeps getting in the way. And so I think she may try and fail, but I could see otherwise. What do you two think?
Michi, where do you want to go with this one?
Chibiusa
solve the murder.
I think she could. I think she can try. I think she can try. I think she's. But I want her to do a category better than her mother. Does that make sense?
We can put her at the top of the category if you like.
Okay, that makes me feel better.
We're ranking them in order of effort here.
I do. There's to some degree like a distinction of how easily they could probably solve your murder.
Okay.
I don't know. Do we think Seiya or Makoto will make a better effort at solving your murder? I think Makoto has a better chance.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think they're kind of tied there. Put Makoto first because her name is alphabetically ahead of his.
It is true,
Yeah.
and that's how we would do it. I don't know how you rank people that just aren't going to try and solve your murder.
No,
because
let's
they
just
all
leave
are
him
going
there.
to.
Just leave him there. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've
Yaten can be
put in a
first
rough
because
ranking at the. Yeah, go ahead.
okay, I was to say Yaten can be first. It's for them as opposed
Yeah.
to
Yep, as
Yeah.
opposed to cosmic.
cosmic. Yeah.
I've put our top tier in a rough order. I think to some extent, all the ones who just simply could do it, Michiru, Mamoru, and Setsuna, like they all
equal.
just could do it.
Yeah.
Magically, they could just do it. And then there would be some degree of like, using their actual just thinking and solving problems for Kaku and Saturn.
Agreed.
All right, back to the Starlights. Taiki. Does Taiki care about your murder?
Taiki doesn't care about you.
No.
No.
Just no.
No.
Not at
No.
all. Not even close. Not even like on on his shoe or their shoe. Like
No. Taiki in that episode, Seiya is desperately trying to solve the murder. Yaten and Taiki have gone to get parfaits. Like that,
yes.
a B plot involving stolen CDs and takeout food. Like,
Yep.
Seiya tries to solve the murder while Taiki and Yaten chase down a bootleg CD seller. Like, that would be
Literally. I can't.
That is the crime that they are willing to solve.
Thought.
That takes precedent. All right, so let's see. Galaxy Cauldron?
All right,
Or-
so the Galaxy Cauldron category is specifically for someone who wants your murder to be solved, but their way of doing it is just killing anyone that they think could be the murderer.
Okay,
This
now
is
I get it.
like they're gonna the murder will be resolved because one of the people that they get will be the murderer. But
Okay.
there's be a lot of fallout along the way.
I also took that as like would get revenge for you.
Yes. And then what is the bottom one? The
Is the
Is the
murderer.
murderer.
it's the murder. I'm still
Yeah.
surprised Chibiusa didn't end up there.
That's because we have Black Lady separately on here.
Ah, okay.
so
okay.
We will hit. We've got a lot of villains in the bottom of the ticket.
Yeah.
So what's going to
We-
get interesting once we hit the villains is instead who do we think interestingly could get attached to someone over the course of an episode and care about solving their murder, and then it turns in a different direction.
All right. I like it. All right, Chibi.
Chibi's not going to solve your murder, but it's for being
No.
baby reasons.
Like, do we think Chibi's going to try to solve your murder, or is that not a thing that we think Chibi understands?
I don't think that's a thing Chibi understands either version.
I don't
like,
either.
No.
I don't either. That's not it. But in a cosmic sense, that not.
Yeah,
I think this is just pure ignorance
I
of what is
I think
murder.
you have to rank her above Queen Serenity because it's for baby reasons. It's not for
Yeah.
cosmic reasons.
Yes.
Petty
so
reasons,
funny.
baby reasons, cosmic reasons. She will cry.
She will. Oh my gosh. All right.
Minako,
Is there a category that like she'll end up murdered herself? Like,
you just killed Minako in an episode?
because I could see her getting murdered trying to investigate a murder. Like, she would go and try to be the hero and then end up getting caught herself.
I mean,
I'm-
I will
I'm-
absolutely add a category for you of is the next victim.
Thank you. I needed that.
Now, before we go ahead and put her there, I'm going to remind you that Sailor V, that whole thing was about her being a detective. She didn't just fight bad guys. Her Sailor Moon thing was like solving crimes.
Yeah, but do you?
Oh yeah, I'm not necessarily saying she's in this category. I just think the category is worthwhile to have.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
But I'll argue the Sailor V manga, she is worse than Usagi at paying attention to what's going on. Like, Artemis
I didn't
constantly like,
I didn't say that she, because to be fair, she's also like 12.
oh, she's a kid. Very fair.
We're once again at children solving murders. But yeah, I don't know. I think she's with Usagi is certainly gonna try.
I'm gonna try. She's gonna have a
I think
themed
she's
outfit.
gonna try. I think it's not that Minako is in the 90s anime particularly, she is somewhat portrayed as also like borrowing the brain cell. But I don't think that is a holistic understanding of Venus and all her portrayals, and I think that Venus isn't. She's generally thought of as being of relatively normal intelligence, but she is also someone who, like, in addition to like her studies and everything else, is like attempting to slash is an idol performer. And that takes up a lot of your time. And you can't be good at other things if you're committing in your childhood to a career that is going to take up all your focus. And I don't think that she has the breadth of knowledge necessary to solve a murder. But I do think she would try.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree.
I will give her this, and I know it's so funny because I was the one campaigning, but I will give her this in that when she wanted her pure heart to get stolen, she created a plan and executed it, and she mastered it.
Oh yeah, she's great. I think that at times they want her to be like Usagi Part 2 for the visuals and for comedic reasons, but I do think that generally she's just not portrayed as being as I got cut off, I think. I don't know. Suddenly that was like, "Oh, your stream's having connection issues," maybe.
Oh, nope, you'll
But no, I don't think she's quite as much of a sweet dim bulb as Usagi, but I also don't think she would solve your murder.
All right, who's next?
All right, next up, we have an interesting one. We have Helios.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
I'm gonna immediately volunteer him to be the next victim.
Agreed.
It's so hilarious because I was literally going the same direction. I was like, I'm so glad we dropped out of this category in which he falls. Like, just not only in the sense that like, it is literally his role in the story, it's also like, I think that narratively, Mans is literally a unicorn. And if there's one thing that we know about unicorns in Legends, it's that like they are often hunted, and I think that's a great role for him. Sorry, Helios. But you're a nice, weird guy, but very nice guy. But I do think that you are probably the next victim.
1000%. I did not intend that category for him, but man, does it fit like a glass slipper.
Sometimes that's just where you fall. All right. I feel like the next one is pretty cut and dry, which is could and would Ami solve your murder?
And
She
have
could and
time
she
for
would.
coffee at the end of the day.
She would do it while studying for her classes.
Yep.
I'm not a huge Mercury fan, but of course she could.
Yeah, I feel like this is a yes. Next. I don't necessarily know that we need to even discuss it. Like,
yep. Like, yeah. She can solve your murder.
I was
not magically, just as a civilian. She can just do it.
Yes, and Twitch of Spades, I know Ami is your favorite, so if you have any Ami that you want to sound off on, feel free to in the comments.
Like, if there's any time for Ami propaganda, it's right now.
This is just, I don't, even if some of us aren't Mercury fans, I think we all are just like, oh yeah, of course she could, of course she would. She'll do it while studying for all of her tests. She doesn't need her magic powers to do it. She doesn't need her supercomputer. She will just do it. Yep. All right. Now, so all the other outers, I want to be clear, have made it into the category of being able to solve your murder. Can Haruka solve your murder?
You know that gif from Shaun of the Dead of, I'm totally blanking on the other actors and the characters going Shane and putting the shotgun shells in the shotgun? Yeah, it's from Hot Fuzz. Okay, wrong Cornello trilogy movie with the exact same actors with guns involved. Excuse me.
Simon Pegg and Nick Frost are the two.
Yeah. That's Haruka solving your murder. Put her in the second category. She does have a little bit of the like reading the wind thing or whatever, but like she's not gonna spend time. Like she has other things to do, and it's not that she's not gonna solve your murder. She is going to find the person who did it and then shoot them, stab them, hit them with her car. Yeah. Michiru figured it out, and Haruka was like,
oh yeah. I think there's a version where, like, again, if Haruka's on vacation by herself and has to solve it by herself, I think there's probably a lot of people that get beat up in the course of the interrogation, which I do think still falls into the category of Starcetamol, the Cauldron figure it out, of like, all right, we're going to break some eggs, but one way or another, we will just brute force find that murder.
To be fair, Galaxia and Haruka would get along in a different setting.
I mean, we already know that they do.
Yeah. That's just facts. All right. So I'm gonna make a case that Sailor Mars, Rei Hino, is also Starseed Amal, let the cauldron figure it out. I think, yes, she's an inner, and the inners are generally representative of the let's care about everybody, let's try to save everybody. So that's why no matter what, she will absolutely try to solve your murder. And I think that she has the magical / spiritual ability to get some guidance in solving that murder. But I also think she has notoriously a temper that causes her to go off and do things half-cocked, even when it is an affirmatively terrible idea and other characters are telling her not to. And so I think that, again, I think that she has the capacity to arrive at a solution. Do I think she will do it in the wisest way? No, I don't.
I want to watch the episode now with this like filler arc episode where Haruka and Rei are in the same place on vacation. Just John Wick style solving this murder.
Yes. It'd be so good.
By the end of the episode, they catch the bad guy, but they've also destroyed whatever hot springs hotel they're staying at. There's like rubble behind them. Multiple employees and things are just wrapped in bandages. Someone's got their arm in a sling. Like,
oh my god, I can see it. I can
and
see
they're
it.
just like having milkshakes together because they've solved the murder.
Both of them covered in blood. Like,
and then the rest of them walking up like the inners, like, hey guys, and then it's like you just look around and it's like desolate.
Like, what did you two get up to? And Haruka's like solved a murder.
Ray's like milkshakes.
All right. So what category are we putting her in?
Starseed Amal. The cauldron figure it out. They're so far they're alone in that category, which I agree means that this is an episode for the two of them doing it together.
Yeah,
I'm here for it. I love it. All right. This is one of Chibiusa's little friends. This is Chibiusa's purple-haired friend.
from the art episode?
Yeah. Yeah. Do we think
she's a recurring manga character too? She's just a background
Yep.
character who's literally just Chibiusa's friend.
Yeah, she's just Chibiusa's friend who
she's
may or
the
may
next
not
victim.
be of
Line her up.
Next victim.
Her one like trait is that she may or may not be of mixed Chinese-Japanese descent.
Okay.
Yes.
So we'll just, you know what, next victim, because they didn't.
Yep. Next victim. She's just All right, Motoki.
Next victim.
Or Andrew, if you prefer.
Yep.
Poor Motoki is also the next victim.
He is like, it's not that he wouldn't try to solve your murder because he's a sweet guy. But I think his girlfriend would probably be better at that. She's definitely smarter than him. But I just think that his role, like cosmically, is also to be the next victim, especially because he notoriously just is loved by all the characters who would be investigating murders.
Yes.
Like, he's the one like, oh no, they murdered someone and we were kind of trying to figure it out, but then they murdered Motoki, who we all like, and now we have to figure it out. And I think that's the, oh no, now we've hooked in all of the detectives because they're emotionally connected to the second victim. That's Motoki.
Okay.
All right, Diana.
I vote she solves it, but I just really like her. Bias. I am
all right,
so
make your
biased.
Argument.
Because
all right, make your argument.
She's a kitten. She can do whatever she wants. She can literally walk into anywhere. She's tiny and cute. Who isn't going to be like, oh my god, come in. Do you need a home? Like, she's ridiculously intelligent. Her parents are literally Luna and Artemis. Like, how can you go wrong there? So I just feel like she would be able to solve it and be able to get in places others couldn't because she's a kitten.
I will only entertain this argument if you can first convince me that Artemis and Luna can categorically solve a murder.
Luna?
Because you've leveraged her being the child of Luna and Artemis.
Yes.
Which means you're saying that they could each solve the murder. And that therefore, by being their progeny, Diana could also solve the murder.
Yes.
So are you arguing that you think Luna and Artemis could also solve a murder?
100%. I think that they are the ones who literally have to get the scouts started. They're the ones with all of the information. Literally, they can run a command center with paws. Like, they're really intelligent beings. And plus, they have all the knowledge from the Old Kingdom, from the planet Mao. They are like really well-lived beings that I think are just intelligent enough to be able to figure it out. So that's my argument for cats.
Waving hello to friends who just dropped into the chat. Hello.
Hi. Hope we're entertaining while you're writing.
I'm not. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I nudged the ball of my thought and was gonna chase it. That's
I'm not. I was in a similar pocket. I'm not necessarily convinced that a kitten from the future can solve a murder. But I hope that quote out of context is enjoyed by. But I am not necessarily convinced that a kitten from the future could solve a murder. I think that Diana is probably intelligent in that the people, the beings of the planet now, are highly skilled in using technology. But I also think that Diana is A, a kitten, and B, from the future. And I don't think that future technology in the year 3000 or what have you is going to be necessarily similar to current technology, because I think future technology will involve a lot of magical crystals and stuff that do magical crystal things.
Okay.
So I think Diana does not have enough. I think that you may be able to argue that Luna and Artemis could solve a murder through their advanced technical skills. But I don't necessarily think that that leverages down to Diana, because I don't think that she has spent enough time in the past, in our era, to be able to solve a murder. Although I will say, if we die in Crystal Tokyo, other than by being wiped out by eco-terrorists, which happened to everybody, I think maybe in her own era, she could solve a murder.
Okay. I'm willing to accept that.
I think I can accept that too. I would like to posit that Diana is fully capable and desirous of doing so. The trouble, while Michi correctly pointed out that she's a little kitten and can get into all sorts of places, that is also a drawback. Diana is like 6 inches long, and anyone who doesn't want Diana in a place is simply going to scoop her up and remove her. It's not like it's not exactly going to be hard either. And like the command center is I think we got to kind of breaking down what the command center can do for talking about Luna and Artemis, who are on here.
Yeah,
and we are gonna and coming up soon, so we are gonna talk about that. But I don't know how good that's gonna be at solving murders. But we'll get to that, I think, when we talk about them. So I'm gonna say Diana tries but does not succeed.
Agreed. Okay. So I want to posit another thing that's going to happen in Diana's attempting to solving a murder episode. So do you remember when we were talking about Chibiusa, and Monica, you rightly pointed out that Chibiusa is frequently thwarted in her attempts to do things by people who are trying to stop her from doing things. That I think that Diana's going to have a similar problem in her episode, which is that she tries to use her adorable kittenness to get into places that she's not supposed to be, but gets found by one of the bad guys, who like promptly hands her to like his child daughter, who is delighted to be given a kitten, and like, oh, I'm gonna squeeze you, I have cute aggression, and you are my kitten, I'm gonna dress you up in little. And so I think she's gonna be sidetracked by having to escape the little girl that now owns her, or the little boy that now owns her, and wants to dress her up and have her be their best friend.
Oh yeah, and that could cause all the problems.
All right, ahead of Makoto and Saya, or behind Makoto and Saya?
Ahead of Saya.
Perfect place. This is a perfect place. You had it in a perfect placement.
I will argue between Saya and Mako.
I think Saya and Mako, by virtue of being human-sized humans with thumbs, have a leg up.
Fine.
Yeah.
But Usagi and Minako definitely.
And Minako do not. The thumbs and the human size is just not enough to make
It's
up
not
for
enough.
it.
Yeah, that's not enough to make up for it. Yeah, because I think Makoto and Saya can can talk to witnesses and ask them key questions, and Diana can't do that. She does not have that option. She can hope that someone else in the vicinity talks to the witness while she is listening in, but she can't do that.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Oh God, I see who's next.
All right, Umino, Melvin
is the victim.
Sure.
I thought about it, and I'm like, he would try so hard that he would get into a trap.
I think you're right, and I'm going to put him at the top of the list for exactly that reason, because I think he is the next victim, but becomes the next victim because of his attempts to solve your murder.
Yes. Yeah, as Trisha Spade said, he would be wearing the Holmes like duds. He'd be wearing like the full
100%. He is wearing the deer stalker. He's wearing like the half cape. He is 100% in the outfit.
He is gonna get killed in a dumb outfit. That's what's gonna.
Yep, absolutely.
For it.
And when he dies, like his glasses, instead of having the spirals, will just have like little X's in the eye, so that you know that he's carked it.
Yes, please. According to an apocryphal note, he's apparently very handsome without his glasses on.
Yeah, I remember that.
I would believe it. That's the classic type of thing that happens with these characters.
Yes.
Oh my god.
All right. Now we've gone into a different direction. Now we have Ikuko Mama.
See, this is difficult because I think Ikuko Mama is like a good-hearted person who would want to solve your murder.
Yeah.
But she and Kenji Papa, who is also next, are both people who like are so not central to the story that like they're either next victim or they're just not going to solve the mystery at all, because their role in that episode was like Ikuko Mama was like, Usagi, you can't have French. You have to eat your Brussels sprouts. Like,
I agree on both of them, and I think that Kenji Papa has a very specific role in any episode where there is a murder to be solved, because we do know that he is specifically a photographer, like a journalist, a photographer. He goes out and takes pictures of scoops. And what we've seen is that when he tries to take pictures of scoops and magical things happen, something ruins the film of his camera and he doesn't get to get the picture of the scoops. And I think that this murder is going to be similar, where he is very specifically trying to get the scoop and investigate the murder, both because he's a decent person and because it's his job. And he is not a main character, so he's not going to succeed.
Yeah. He's not going to succeed. He's not a main character. There's just no way.
I could see Kenji Papa. I guess we're kind of going to do both of them at the same time, since they're
they're kind of duo.
Yeah. Now, I think Ikuko Mama may be on the doesn't try, and we gotta put her like, I don't know, between Chibi and Buns the First, because she's not gonna try on account of not being involved in the plot.
Yeah,
on account of not having any reason to believe that she's the person who could solve a murder.
Right.
Yeah. She is not her job. Papa, she's not a policeman.
Being a photographer might be the next victim.
Ooh.
Much like Melvin, I could absolutely see that happening, where like he investigates it and gets into deep, and he learns something he shouldn't have learned, and he's the next victim.
I could say that.
Yeah.
I think I absolutely agree with that. That is absolutely where he's landing. See, we added this category. It's putting in a lot.
It is indeed. Do we want to do Luna and Artemis as a pair, or do we want to consider them separate?
Do we think there's any reason to believe that one of them would be more or less motivated than the other to solve a murder? Like,
I think Luna is smarter than her husband.
Oh, 100%.
I agree.
It does feel a little like a Haruka Michiru situation where you're like, don't separate them.
I know. It's so hard whenever you have to separate the ships.
Okay, so let's talk kind of Luna and Artemis. Let's talk about them at the same time, but they may wind up in different categories, sort of like Kenji and Ikuko did. And let's do the command center discussion, because we said we were going to wait to do it with this. So does magic-powered crystal moon tech work on solving a murder? And I'm going to say it does, as long as the murder is done by the villains, which I think we're sort of leaning towards. This is a Dark Moon plot. This is a, why am I totally blanking on Prince Diamond and his posse's team name? Black Moon Clan, yeah. Yes, thank you. Dark Kingdom, Black Moon Clan, Deathbusters, people who do a fair amount of mundane person murder, which is less the Dark Moon Circus and very much not Shadow Galactica's bag.
No.
Yeah.
Not what they're here for.
No. They have other things to do. So like any of the first three threats are people who do regular people murder. So are we presuming that like, this is a thing that's been set up by one of them? Because if so, then the command center suddenly becomes very useful, because I think they would be like, oh, we traced Megaverse energy.
Yep.
That's my impression of Artemis's 90s anime voice.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm glad you knew exactly what I was doing.
Yes, because he had that happily voice that stop squabbling. Mina, come.
Mina, give me my Marlboros.
Oh, awesome. Oh my god.
Mina,
I love the 90s
I
voice.
think the Dark Kingdom's behind this.
Listen, the deep voices were elite.
Good. Unmatched.
I'm
Alright.
glad you knew exactly what I was doing. Like, I was like, I'm doing this, and I'm like, oh, it's a terrible impression, and then both of you got it right.
Doesn't matter. We knew.
Doesn't matter. We knew. This is why we're friends. All right, where are we throwing those two?
Oh my god.
Mina.
Man, we didn't really come to a conclusion. Do you think that they are capable of solving the murder? I don't know, because their role in a story is usually sort of point the Senshi in a direction.
But Luna
So I
figured
guess it
out-
would be. Go on.
And I don't think identifying generally that the cosmic entity that they're fighting against is probably involved necessarily means they've solved the murder. I think probably at the beginning of any episode when a murder happens, like any of the main characters could be like, this is probably magical, and it's probably the same people we've been dealing with all season. Although they don't always necessarily figure that out. I think certainly Luna and Artemis could be like, we've detected nega energy in that direction. I don't think that necessarily means that they could say, like, oh yeah, they've poisoned the avocados. They're selling secret space avocados that are sapping people's energy and blah, blah, blah. I think that involves more legwork. It wasn't avocados though. What was
I know
the
what you're
one
talking
episode in R where they were
bananas. Wasn't it bananas?
I don't think it was
Or
bananas.
is pineapples?
I think it might have just been called dark fruit. It was dark fruit.
Yeah, because I remember
not
the
sure
fruit
what the dark
monster
fruit
whose attack
was.
is called Banana Knife.
It's so good.
Oh, the
You were
show.
selling dark fruit, which I
Dark
think looked like, I want to say in my head, it looked like an evil avocado or like a pear that was black. That's
Something
how I'm
like that.
picturing it.
The dark fruit of the night, you know?
Yep. There was
Oh my
definitely
God.
that was definitely in R we had the dark fruit. But I don't think the cats are out there like I don't even think they're out there trying to be the one who specifically deduces how the murder occurred, what was like, the means, motive, and opportunity. But I do think like they're attempting to solve it in the sense that they are contributing to the solving of it. They're like, oh yeah, we'll figure out whether this is in our remit, and then I'll let one of my senshi actually solve it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Which
think
category
Luna.
is that?
I think Luna over Artemis could solve it. Artemis, I could see in the try hard.
Yeah. And Artemis we're once again back to Artemis's. I've put the dots together.
You haven't connected anything.
I've not connected them. You haven't connected anything.
To be fair, Luna had to find 4 scouts. Artemis had to find 1.
Though he did find her very fast.
He
He
did.
did find her, and then he was like, my work here's done.
That's a classic man effort. He's like, I contributed. You did specifically the one part of the project that was assigned to you. And then Luna did the part of the project that was assigned to her. And also all the parts of the project that no one had assigned to anybody because she understood that they had to get done.
I
And
think
you weren't volunteering.
I think that puts them under tries and fails.
Yeah.
On account of like, Artemis being a dumbass who only does the minimal amount of effort, and on the other half being that like they're still cats.
They
Yeah.
are still cats.
They're still cats.
Now, how do they rate versus Chibiusa?
I think they go ahead of Diana
Yeah.
behind Seiya.
Okay. I'm okay with
Yeah.
that.
Luna, Artemis, Diana.
Yeah,
Cats in
Luna
that
ahead of
order.
Artemis. Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Artemis and Mina together in the same category. Well, we did our best.
We did our best category.
I feel like Luna is so embarrassed that she and Usagi are in the same category.
Cat was so embarrassed. Like,
Yeah.
Like she feels like she shouldn't be in this category with all the other people who are in this category, but she is though. Honey, you are a cat.
Unfortunately.
It does limit your ability to just do things in human society.
Yes. All right. I think we have time for one more before break.
All right,
Okay.
Shingo, Usagi's
oh,
brother.
that's Usagi's
Oh.
shitty little brother.
That's him.
He's either not going to try at all on account of being 5 and a brat.
Yeah.
Or is the next victim. But
I was
not in a
gonna
fun
say
way
next
like her
victim.
dad.
No, more like he's a brat and he got caught.
Yeah, I don't. I think I'm gonna argue for definitely won't try to solve your murder because I don't know that he has high victim appeal.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
if I was a murderer, I'd just be like, nope, annoying. I don't want to have the length of interaction required to kill you.
that's fair because he can be a lot. Because he's not like he's think about his age range. He's not. He's just acting like a kid.
Yep. He's gonna be somewhere between Chibi Chibi, who is not gonna try because baby, and Ikuko, who's not going to try because it's not her job.
One of the two.
It's also not his job, but he's also baby.
Yes.
All right, we have time for Ray's creepy grandpa.
Oh Lord, can we make him the next victim?
Yeah. He is in the
we
same
put him up
category
there?
as the shitty kid where, either the next victim or is not trying.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
What does he do?
He puts a lot of pressure on Ray to solve all his problems and hits on preteen girls.
Yes.
Make
This is literally what he does. You know what? For the sake of our enjoyment, I'll make him the next victim.
Okay.
That's personal decision.
He has low victim
Right.
appeal, but
I think it happens by accident.
yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's
like
fair.
we're considering that this is a Sailor Moon. We're writing a filler episode of Sailor Moon where they have to solve a
We are.
murder. That like, Grandpa, like the actual victim is like Ikuko, right? Because he's being killed for a reason. Right? Usually people get murdered for a reason. It's almost never senseless or random. So like Kenji Papa gets murdered because he has evidence. But like the Dark Moon throwdown that happened in the process of killing, Quincy like blew up the whole building and Ray's grandpa happened to be in it. That's how he got he's the next victim.
Totally. Like that was
He blew
exactly
up the whole building, and everyone was like, "Don't worry, that building was under construction. No one was inside." And it's like he had gone in there 5 minutes earlier to like pee in a bush outside the building.
Oh my god, I can see it happening because that was his type of character. He was always the wild card. So welcome back, everybody. I hope you guys are excited for our last half of our big game. We have a lot of spicy ones left. All right.
Please enjoy Dog Cam while you have it.
Doggo Cam.
Dog Cam?
Oh, here, let me make a little...
Lando.
There he is. It's my baby. Yeah, he just decided that he was on my bed like in perfect camera shot right before we came back from break, and then he jumped down and I was like, "Oh, dang it, everyone's gonna miss puppy cameo." And then he was like, "I want to be in your lap," and I was like, "Oh, okay, if you insist." My angel, he's so good.
His brother is not around. Sometimes he comes in and hollers at me, but he's not here right now. If he does come in, I will of course put him on.
Yes,
Excellent. As we would all want to see a cameo from Max, sweet boy.
Yeah.
All right. So let's go back to our spate of. I think we have a spate of ginger civilian women, and also you do.
We somehow do have a lot of ginger civilian women.
It's just apparently that's what they think a civilian looks like. They're like, oh, they all have this kind of like dark auburn hair, and it's all bang, same haircut, et cetera, different lengths, and they're civilians.
Love it.
So let's talk about Miss Haruna and her role, or in our murder filler episode.
If she got a date, she would leave you dead. I'm just saying, because she left Anne and Usagi in that room for until it was dark out.
I spoke with the devil.
Oh,
The very fluffy devil.
He is
His
tears
tears
of
crush my
precious
headphones.
boy.
Oh, this is
I
Max.
love him. I love him. He's the best. He's the best. Viewers, I would like you to know he is in fact the best cat. Like he has a gentle nature. He is very like warm and friendly towards people, and like likes hugging Monica's arm and getting a cuddle, which is super cute.
What a
He's
good
just
boy.
he's just a great cat.
Right now, he does not particularly want to be cuddled. I picked him up in the middle of running away, and he did not like that.
But he's a
then
ragdoll, so he has to allow it.
His little feet got caught in my headphones. He didn't like that either.
Oh,
But I was holding him, so he did not object. and he is a ragdoll, so he was
Yeah.
just like, this may as well happen. Yep. Anyway, Miss Harna, one of the many civilian characters who's just a background character, whose personality includes homeroom teacher and
Thirsty for love.
yeah,
There are many episodes in which she's just, I want to get laid. And
I
I'm
mean,
frustrated
can't
that
say
that's
I
not
blame her.
happening. Oh,
Yeah.
no, absolutely. I appreciate her
It's
putting herself
difficult.
out there.
It's difficult being a working woman.
Yep.
Yeah. She gets no good writing in the show. Like anytime
mean-
she's an evil villain to Usagi.
Yeah. She's a very flat character, so that's even in the manga where like it's not like she lacks for characterization, she's simply just background characters.
Yep.
I know I would say Manuela vibes, but I'm not sure Miss Haruna would eat a sandwich off the floor.
Yeah, I don't think she's Manuela vibes in some senses, but I don't think Manuela is very girl dinner. So, the new trend girl dinner.
Girl
That's
dinner,
Manuela,
yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I don't think Miss Haruna is girl dinner. Look at the blazer that she wears. She has some degree of putting herself together to face the world. But I love that instead of discussing her solving our murder, we were like, let's talk about this character.
That's the game.
She needs
so-
more attention.
It is.
Okay, so Miss Haruna is either not solving her murder in the same way that all the other civilians are, in which she is a teacher, and a Japanese teacher, so somehow more overworked than American ones, and or is the next victim because like it was one of the Dark Kingdom hotties, and like she Tinder matched with Nephrite, and he killed her. Like,
Yeah, I can
is
see
one
that.
of those two, right?
Yeah.
It's either her death is the inciting incident, like, oh, one of the Rubius matched with her on Hinge and now she's dead, and or she's
What a
not
fuckboy.
involved.
What a fuck boy.
Which do we think?
So I want to say I'm going to put her in the category of definitely will not try to solve your murder. And I think because I think her role in the episode is that like this is taking place at some location where people are going to be investigating because there's been a series of murders or disappearances or blah, blah, blah. But this is one of those like hot new tourist trap / blah, blah, blahs where everyone's going because they want to be the one who kisses the Blarney Stone and finds love or whatever, and everyone says everybody does. And so this is one of those situations where horrible things keep happening, but the tourists still are showing up because they like desperately want whatever magic pill is being offered by this. And I think she's one of those people who like is still giving patronage to the shady institution where all the murders are happening.
Yeah.
Because she's like, yeah, but I also heard that if you like kiss under the clock tower by midnight, you'll be married forever and blah, blah, blah. I think that's her role. So she's not trying to solve the murder because she's more interested in, she's been taken in by the lore of the thing. We clearly have seen in multiple episodes that like Miss Harna's role is to be like, yes, she's a responsible teacher, but in her downtime, well, she will trust any snake oil salesman to find love.
Fair.
I think. All right.
I think
She's not trying to solve
she's
her
going
murder.
to
Go
be.
ahead.
It's the snake oil salesman means that she's going to become the next victim.
She could absolutely easily be the next victim as a result of that. Like,
Yeah.
that absolutely can happen.
To me, she's more damsel in distress because of how much in the show she seemed like distracted. But that's just my opinion. I don't know. Where do you guys fall?
That's fair. I'm fine with either of those categories.
Monica, you want to be the tiebreaker?
I think you're on mute.
Is Monica talking?
Yes,
I was muted.
muted.
Yeah, I was muted. The classic mistake of muting myself to be courteous with background noise and then just resuming conversation
Just
without
not.
unclicking the button. Yeah. So I think I'm gonna go with my like she's the inciting incident plot hook next victim. Like we
Okay.
know
Yep.
that she is pretty easily taken in by something, and so like I was making like thirsty lonely lady jokes, but it could also be that she's simply taken in by. We know the Dark Kingdom and the Black Moon are both very willing to like snake oil their way into getting people harmed, right? So
100%.
I'm
All
going
the
to
time.
guess she's either a victim of some sort of phishing attempt in that regard, right? So put her in the victim category.
Yep. So she's in the victim category. She's over here in the category with Helios and Purple Friend and Motoki. She's not a victim because she tried to solve the murder. She wasn't trying to solve the murder. She's a victim because she got caught up in whatever the thing was.
Agreed.
All right. Motoki's little sister.
Victim.
Yeah, I mean, just
She's a
right there with her
victim.
brother. It's a family thing.
Like, big
They're
me
that
well,
vibe.
but yeah, pure victim.
All right, I'm gonna go in a different direction for one civilian, which is specifically Motoki's girlfriend. I think she's gonna try and solve your murder. I don't know that she's necessarily gonna succeed because she's not a main character. Like, I think she has a shot. She is in fact very smart, but she's like a geologist, and I don't know that necessarily will give her murder solving skills. But I don't think she's got victim vibes. I think she's got like civilian also doing their best, who perhaps like provides a key clue that someone else is going to use to solve the murder.
I could see that.
That's my feeling about her.
Yeah, because that's the thing. She is a little bit more than just a side character. She actually does seem to be picking up on things and actually like going forward.
Doesn't she work with Setsuna?
She does
I
work
think
with
she does.
Setsuna. She does work with Setsuna. I just rewatched the Infinity arc.
I just reread the Infinity arc, and she was like,
Yeah.
yeah, Setsuna has this theory, and Setsuna's like also a genius.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
She's like a little thirsty for Setsuna, to be honest.
Yeah, she really is. I can't blame
I know it's an artifact of like, the storytelling where they have the mundane characters talk up the Sailor Senshi, where it's just like,
sure,
they're the most
Mhm.
superlative, wonderful, incredible people because they're like, I'm not. Never mind. I was gonna make a reference that's not gonna land with this audience, but like, so there's that sort of storytelling, but it does make every kind of gay, and that's
Yep.
I do appreciate that about it. So I think I would like to see the story where Reika and Setsuna, like a side story in the Infinity arc, because we know the Deathbusters are not against targeting regular people, where the two of them are solving the mystery.
Ooh.
it would be
Ooh.
good. So good.
Yeah,
I'm
where
here
like
for
you know, for some reason, you know, like Setsuna's doing her thing in the physics department and with Reika and all of the super smart science people, and Haruka and Michiru are elsewhere getting it on behind the fountain. So Setsuna has to solve.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
Poor Setsuna.
Michiru is at swim practice and Haruka is in the helicopter. So Setsuna has to solve this by herself. But not by herself, because Reika is a sharp cookie and she is here to help.
I'm genuinely I'm so here for it. I'm so here for it.
We
It'd
have
be
so
so
many
good.
So many
Like, and
fan
I'm just
fiction
like,
prompts.
and then I smush their faces together. Sorry, Motoki, but I do.
Smush the faces together.
I'm like, let Setsuna have a girlfriend and let her girlfriend be like very worthy, as this like genius geologist would be.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think Reika gets the honor of being the only mundane person to be in the solving the mystery category.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I'm gonna give her that.
Oh
And
god.
she's again mundanely solving it through her civilian metal. On the other end of the spectrum, you know,
Chad. I was gonna say, is that Chad?
Chad.
Victim.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think even will do their best, but probably not solve your murder. I don't think he ever gets like attacked. I just think he spends the entire time, the entire episode, he is the like comedic C plot where you just see flashes of him completely in the wrong direction, not even close to solving the murder. Like, who knows what he's doing? He thinks he's solving the murder. He's nowhere near it. And he's just comedically in the background, not solving it. That's where I would put him.
Okay.
No, I think I have to agree with that. Like he's
Yeah.
where he gets more characterization in some of the classic shows, filler. You do see him as a good-hearted guy. Like he isn't selfish. He's not. He's he's a himbo. Like, he's
Yeah,
dumb.
he definitely
but
moves
he's
into a himbo role.
Yeah. And Rei is antagonistic towards him, but that's because she's antagonistic towards everyone she doesn't like.
Yeah.
She sure is. But he gets over the part where he was like, I'm in love with Rei and we're getting married, and she's going to get on board with that eventually. And eventually he just moves into, like, he works at the shrine. He tries to help everybody. He's a nice guy who sees past Rei being a jerk.
Fair.
Yeah, I think he does graduate into himbo.
That works.
All right, so he's doing his best, but he's not solving our murder. And I'm going to put him behind Usagi. I think Usagi has a better shot of trying to solve your murder, and at least coming close to a clue somewhere along the way.
Okay, I'm fine with
Here's why. I will give a justification for that, because it's not like I necessarily think there's any evidence that she has more brain cells than he does. But I do think we have evidence that she puts effort into investigation, and she has a special skill that he does not, which is called the disguise pen.
Yeah.
To investigate lots of things. Like, that is a special thing that she has access to.
Every so often, Usagi uses the disguise pen in an extremely clever way.
Yes.
Sometimes her brain cell is available and it is working.
Yes. She's like, what is a super useful disguise that I can be in that, to be clear, will also be super hot? I want to be gorgeous when I'm in this disguise, but I'm also going to be in that disguise, and it's going to be really useful. Which I love for her. All right. So, great for Usagi. This means she is not the worst at trying to solve your murder. Good for her. Proud of her. By the way, Mina does also have a disguise pen. I know she uses it in the manga, so they both have the ability to use disguises. So I don't think that changes either of their ranking.
Nope.
Okay. Now let's talk about Chibiusa's little green-haired friend. I don't know that there's much to say about Chibiusa's little green-haired friend. Victim.
Just random victim.
You can go in there with her purple-haired friend.
Yeah, because I'm like, I don't remember anything about him other than Chibiusa had a crush on him.
Yeah. They were complicated. It was like I think they were a classic, let's portray the little boy as being like, sort of do a mirroring of 90s anime Mamoru and Usagi of, they start off like not liking each other, and they're always at each other's throats, but it turns out that actually they're the best of friends, blah, blah, blah. In a much more like platonic way, obviously, because they're tiny children.
Yeah.
But I think that sort of a mirror of that, where he is the Mamoru role of starting off as her little rival, but then actually they're friends. All right.
I don't really have anything to say about him.
It just, victim. Now, I feel like if there is a queen of the next victim category, I do feel like Naru is.
Sorry, Naru.
I'm going to put her with Helios, where this is her destined role. This is cosmically, narratively, this is her role in the universe, is to be the next victim.
Yes, she should be at the top of the next victim list by far.
So I think these aren't necessarily in a descending order so much as they're in different categories. So we've got Kenji Papa and Umino, who are the next victim because they knew too much. Then we've got Helios and Naru, who are the next victim because it is their cosmic destiny to be the next victim. Then we've got Miss Haruna, Purple Friend, Green Friend, Motoki, and Motoki's sister, who are like, your classic next victim material. And we've Ray's grandpa, who is the next victim because, like, it is emotionally unmotivating for him to have happened to also be a victim. And it creates a nice red herring. Was he also killed by the murderer? No, he was killed accidentally along the way of some other things that happened related to the murders, and it confused the investigations. No one had a motive to kill him. He just was also killed.
He was just collateral damage.
Yep. That takes us to the end of our list of civilians, which means that from here on out, for the last hour, we will be talking exclusively about antagonists and trying to figure out where we think they're going to fit in this, allowing for the possibility that for any of them, they don't necessarily have to be the murderer. Except for Wise Man, he's definitely the murderer.
Some of these people are not going to be the murderer. And I already have thoughts about it. So let's do it.
Strongly. That's why I'm
Okay.
excited. I'm excited about that. I was like, we didn't need a bunch of different murderer categories because I think what we have is interesting as it is.
All right, everyone. Now the best part of Sailor Moon, the villains.
The villains. All right. Beryl. Michi,
Beryl
do you
is the
want to lead us
murderer.
off on this one?
I'm
Okay,
sorry.
no, I'm
I'm
also
sorry.
going the same way. I think she has she is incredibly petty. She's very short fused. She this is a person who she's the murderer. She's not a person who she met someone briefly and they changed her life and she wanted to solve their murder. Nah, that's just not. She's the murderer. She's gonna do great in that category. Good for her.
Yeah, she's gonna lead that category.
She's just good for her. Good for her.
I cannot see a situation in which Beryl would save you at all.
Neither can I. She didn't save Endymion. And she did lots of terrible things to him, and she presumably was in love with him. So I can't see the situation in which she's like, "Oh, let's solve your murder."
Right?
Unless the victim is herself and she's solving her own murder. This is the only one.
The only time she cares.
On the other end of the spectrum is Nephrite. Now, Nephrite, I want to put forth my case that Nephrite will solve your murder. And I'm going to put forth two things, because we have to create the motivation to solve a murder. Could this character be motivated to solve the murder? And then could this character do it? I'm going to argue he could be motivated to solve a murder. We do see, particularly in the 90s anime, that he does form a strong emotional bond with a civilian that he's not supposed to form a strong emotional bond with. And he does it relatively quickly. And it is life-changing for him. And I also think that Nephrite he's solving Molly's murder. Oh no. No. He would solve it. This is my argument. He would solve it. He's the astrology one. He is the one who reads in the stars, his whole thing, how he targets his victims, Jedi targets his victims via, I've come up with a new scheme of things that I've deduced that teen girls like. I think Jedi consistently basically goes on TikTok to see what things he thinks teen girls are into and then targets that. He's like, teen girls are the best source of energy. If you look, there's only one Jedi scheme in the entirety of all his anime schemes that doesn't revolve around things he thinks are appealing to teen girls. And it's the one where he's like, also this jazz musician, I think is a really good play, which it turns out teen girls are apparently also into. But he didn't think that teen girls were into that one. All the other ones, he was like, teen girls are really into this shit, and I know it. But then also a jazz musician. So Jedi's method was, what do teen girls like? Nephrite's method specifically was, I'm not going to try and harvest the bulk of people. I'm going to use my knowledge of the stars and of astrology to ask constellations to tell me cosmically which one human being is about to be at peak energy in their life. Their energy is just about to be off the charts peaking. And I'm going to go after that one person. Actually, he might have done the jazz musician. Someone did jazz music. It was one of the two of them. But he finds one person who's peak energy, and then he goes after them once they're at peak energy, and then takes their energy. He's using foresight. He's using the ability to scry through the stars. I think he can use his cosmic abilities, and also his incredible wealth, apparently, because consistently all of his disguises are I have incredible wealth. I own a company. I'm super important. I think he has the resources and the ability to solve a murder. I think he has the emotional capacity to connect with an individual person and be motivated to solve their murder. So I'm going to make a strong argument. Nephrite will solve your murder.
H has just made an excellent point. I don't know if we can put that message up there, but if he is solving Naru's murder, it's a galaxy cauldron. Let them all sort it out.
You know what?
Revenge quest.
You know what? True. I do think if he's solving Naru's murder, he will absolutely kill anyone he has to solve that murder. I think that is a strong point. Thank you.
I agree. I totally agree
Yeah.
because
I agree.
his love for Molly was off the charts. Like, I'm sorry, but who didn't still remember that episode from the 90s anime? Like, 10 out of 10.
It
I mean,
was
you
so
just
good
just
because
go ahead, go ahead.
I was just gonna say it was genuinely for him life-changing.
Mhm.
Now it led to his death, but it was life-changing.
I think of all the villains, like, he's the one who, especially out of, like, the 4 kings, that I think he would solve your murder, but I also agree he would go Scorchers for Molly.
I'm here for that.
Oh, for sure. I 100% agree now. Like, again, writing uh, a filler episode. So if this is the filler episode in which Naru gets murdered, perhaps by our next character in a transitional between henchmen type thing, then like I think Nephrite is gonna go out in a blaze of glory, trying to get
100%. Yep.
revenge.
Totally.
Yeah.
You know what? Love that for him. Very proud of him. All right. Let's I don't know that there's much debate to be had about Zoisite.
Oh, it is the murder.
It's the murder.
It's the murder.
It's
Like,
the murder.
I'm sorry, but who in the world rents a building with an elevator just to send fire down the elevator to be dramatic at a slow speed so that Usagi can transform in time and save Mamo?
Zoisite does.
Like,
Zoisite absolutely does.
An extremely theatrical bitch. That's who.
yes, exactly. So theatrical.
$1,000,000%. Love that for him. Zoisite's he's the murderer. He is the murderer.
The murder of the 4 kings.
Yep. All right, and then we have Kunzite. I don't know if Kunzite is necessarily the murderer, but I definitely don't think he's gonna try and solve your murder. Probably he knows who did it, and probably it's Zoisite, and probably he's covering up for him. But
Oh, man. He's the character they gave him in the 90s show is such an he's just such like an interesting, ruthless guy. He almost is like kind of Galaxia levels of like lawful, like honorable, rather.
Yes.
And so like in this filler episode, like, so I think he is fully capable of solving your murder.
Oh, I think he's capable of solving
yeah.
murder. Yep.
Yeah, he's fully capable of it. The question is, in this plot line, is he forced to team up with someone to solve the murder? Is this that one of the musicals is about Galaxia resurrecting the Dark Kingdom, which I based a whole actual Sailor Moon tabletop campaign on, where I'm not going to get into the weeds, but like, I could see a situation in which Kunzite is forced in this filler episode is forced to team up with someone to solve a murder, and he's like a good guy to have on your side if you need a murder solved. But the like tension may also be because he is also that second category where like, kill them all.
Yeah.
Let the Galaxy
hardcore.
Cauldron sort him out. Shame.
Yeah, like I definitely think he could solve a murder. I think where I'm falling is I'm not convinced that he would be in a position in any filler episode to form a bond with someone such that that he would want to solve the murder. And this is my reasoning. My reasoning is I mean, in the manga, none of there's not multiple schemes that each of these villains like undergoes. They have their one scheme, they fail, they get killed, yada. But in the anime, they all have multiple attempts to like get people. And unless I'm misremembering, Kunzite does not do any like, oh, I'm going to pretend to be a human with a plot to like harvest blah, blah, blah. I'm pretty sure Kunzite exclusively does the things that he does in his powered form.
Yeah, I don't recall him ever
I
putting
don't
on
know
a
that he
disguise.
has a civilian identity. So I don't know that he has the opportunity to be exposed to a person whose murder he would be motivated to solve.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It depends because there's so many different iterations of him that I feel like with every iteration, I could see him in a different category because, like, the category that loves Venus and then have this little love affair. Who is that?
Yeah, I think Manga Kunzite is very interesting because he isn't, he's the most in touch with his past life self, who is very close in tone and temperament to Endymion. They similarly, these a nice staid guy who wants to help and be helpful, just a tragic figure. And so manga kunzite is very interesting. Again, it's always hard to build off of the manga characters because frequently they don't get as much time to have characters. Um, but I do agree that it's hard with kunzite because he has a lot of complexity in all of his iterations.
Yeah.
I'm also
so-
trying not to let other people's portrayal of the character color how I feel about
Oh,
it.
I constantly have to be like, all right, this is like, let me wipe out in my head like how this character was played in like an RPG that I was in, and like the particular stuff that they brought into it that was really good. That I'm like, that's canon though.
Like, it was a good extrapolation from the information that was presented, but that didn't actually happen in anything.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh man, I think I have to. I think my final vote is the Galaxy Cauldron category.
Galaxy Cauldron.
I think he's a burn it all, get revenge.
I
Because he would
do, I
also do
do.
that for Zoisite if
He would
Zoisite
do
is
that.
the,
Oh,
the
absolutely.
person who is murdered.
No question.
Like,
If Zoisite was the
and
person
that
who was
is
murdered. This is what he does.
yeah.
This is just kind of what he does. Like, he was trying to hang back and be like, all right, Zoisite, we're gonna like wait, like let's let Nephrite fail on his own. He's gonna fail on his own. And Zoisite was like, I'm not fucking letting him fail on his own. But then the minute that Zoisite dies, Kunzite's like, okay, I have nothing left to live for. I hope we all die, but you first. Like,
Oh my god. But why is that
that's his way. All right, Matali is the murderer.
murderer of
Yeah,
all murderers?
I mean, in the same way that like Buns the First is not solving your murder, Metalia is the murderer. But it's like, is it murder if it's like a war crime?
Right.
Is
Fair,
it murder
fair.
if it's a natural disaster? Like,
Right.
like she just destroyed the area around and you died.
Right. Are we
It wasn't
calling that
nothing
murder,
personal.
or are we calling that fallout from
fault?
the
Right?
war
Yeah.
crime?
Yeah.
All right, but Jedi is also the murderer, not in the very opposite end of the spectrum of being the murderer, of whether it's like fallout from a war crime cosmically versus whether this is the person who most cannot handle someone saying something negative to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where Yaten is in that leading that list for petty reasons, Jada is leading this list also for petty reasons.
100%. 100%.
Definitely.
All right.
Oh god. What's her name? It's
Pets. This is Pets.
Pets. Okay, so what is she's in love with Rubius.
So they're all in love with Rubius, but she falls in love with Sapphire.
That's it. Okay, I was like, I'm trying to
She's-
remember.
Yeah, Rubius
She's
is a
the person
fuckboy.
with
That's
some
not
taste.
redeeming of anybody. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, she's the one with taste. They all four sisters are like hot for Rubius, most terrible fuckboy. But she eventually makes a better decision. Categorically, it is clear that she could become attached to someone and want to solve their murder. Because she does develop this attachment to Severe, in the series. And if he died, I think she would try to solve it. And so if I'm the person who warms her heart by showing her positive attention, then I think she would try to solve my murder. And I would do that for her. She's a classy woman, who deserves better than a fuckboy. But in her motivation to solve my murder, do I think she could do it? Do I think she'd be willing to like burn the world down to try to do it? I don't know. I think she's from the future. I do think that again, that is limiting in terms of her ability to solve a murder that takes place in the past. She's also from the
Ooh.
future on like the planet Nemesis, which isn't even on Earth. So I just don't know how broad of experience she has to be able to do this. That's my take on it.
Yeah, I also am trying to remember what her power set is. I just don't remember.
I don't either. Like I remember her outfit.
She's the Jupiter analog, right?
I think so.
Yeah, because Calaverous was Mars. Uh, Cassie, what's her Japanese name?
So
She
stuck
was
on their
Mars.
names.
Calaverous was Venus. And Birdie was.
Can you Michi, please put that up?
Artist of the dumb
bitch.
respectfully.
Disrespectfully.
Yes, Loki.
I feel like that's kind of true, and I feel like that's interesting. Like when you look at Birdie in that regard, oh, she's very good at chess, but she's not very good at like spotting a fuckboy.
No, not at all. Those are rose tinted glasses. Fully respectful. All right, who's next? Or did we decide where she's going?
I didn't put her in a category. I don't think anyone else made an argument for where they wanted to put her.
I think if I'd put her in the she tries but doesn't succeed, and I'd put her above Usagi.
Okay. I can see that.
Yeah.
The Spectre sisters, right? Is that what they're called?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Akashi
Okay.
sisters. Yep.
Yeah. They in the 90s show, they definitely formed a lot of relationships with regular people.
Yes.
So I absolutely have one more brain cell in Usagi. Yes, I absolutely can see that.
All right, and then her
All right,
sister.
we're up to Berthier, Birdie, if you will.
Again, dumb bitch sisters. Loki said it best.
Yeah, I think as Monica has just pointed out, I think that all four of the Ayakashi sisters have the ability to form a connection with a person and care about them. So I do think that we could potentially see them trying to solve a murder. Now, could Berthier solve a murder? Would she be better at it than Pets? I do think Pets like has more of a brain cell in terms of wisdom than Berthier, but not necessarily in terms of intelligence. Like Berthier is supposed to be the smart one.
Yes.
Do we think she could solve a murder?
She is the smart one of the sisters, I think, like logic wise. Like as Loki said, she's smart, but she's still a dumb bitch. But
if she is in a murder solving competition against Ami,
yes, then she'll win. Done.
Ami will solve it faster, but
Ami will solve it faster. Yeah, this is the plot of this filler episode. I can see the plot of this filler episode where it's like they're competing against each other to solve this mystery, and it's framed as if they are solving an actual mystery, and it's not until the end that you realize it's like an escape room or a hologram or a VR game, and Ami wins in the end after Bertier pulls out some sort of weird percentage game. It is. Yeah, well, pulls out some sort of Black Moon bullshit, like freezes Ami or something like that. That seems like the crux of the episode. Capable of solving your murder, I don't think is going to try unless there's an external motivation. I fully understand being tired and therefore hilarious. You don't need to apologize.
Yeah, like Loki, you're doing great. We're enjoying your commentary. So I agree. I think they're all at some level, they're going to do their best because they do become humans at the end. And they're like, we're going to be good humans and it's going to be great. And she is the most intelligent. So I would probably put her and that she would try. Yes. So I'm like, I don't know where to put her. She wants to try. I think she would do a try. I do think she would try.
I think she could do it. I would personally place her between Kakyu and Saturn.
All right.
That's my okay.
No, I could go with that because I think she could do it if she wanted.
Yeah, we have a villain that will solve your murder, and they won't do it by murdering everybody.
Yay!
Great.
Good for her. All right. Calaverous, Avery. I
don't remember.
Again, I don't know that she gets. I don't know that she gets. I think she gets the least amount of characterization in the anime. I don't have much of an argument to make for her. I think, again, we have the idea that they have some ability to want to be human and want to be decent people. I would say she would do her best, but probably not solve our murder. And I think not as well as, I think she would do worse than Pets at it.
But yeah, no, like you're right. She doesn't get much characterization. She doesn't really get anything where we could see where she would feel strongly one way or the other. I think her only personality trait is that she wants revenge and she's thirsty for one of the guys, if I remember right.
They're all thirsty for Rubius.
Yeah.
All of
Why?
I think we've all had that experience of seeing a particular actor or some like person in the cosplay community or whatever, like everybody is just like all over, and you're just like, why? I feel like the
Yeah.
Ayakashi sisters captured that experience of wondering why everyone is hot for this person.
To be fair, and Loki's right. He is an almost charming fuckboy. Like, he genuinely is. Because he does know how to work everybody in the room.
Yeah, I'll give you that. He is like hot for a given value of hot.
Yeah.
I think you have to be straight to see it. I think that's their problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like the fuckboy appeal on a cis man only works on straight women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You put a butch lesbian in that outfit, and then it's a different story.
It's honestly 100%.
That outfit,
Like,
yeah.
Just think about Rubius, except he's a jacked woman with like kind of a muscular chest and fairly decent tits. And then suddenly the whole there's gay fuckboys too. But I think the gay fuckboy appearance is a little different than this.
Yeah, I think if you look at, if you absolutely put this outfit with the earrings, with the low cut, tight fitting vest, and you put that on a woman,
And then just dropping panties left and right, like
Done.
Yep. I'm not normally into like fatigues, but I think I would change my tune.
Right? Like, I was not on board, and then suddenly Monica came up with that idea, and I'm like, ooh, wait, go back.
See, that's what I mean. Like, being attracted to him as a man like that is a straight thing, and then you gender swap him, and then you get it. See what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fair.
All right.
Fair.
I get it.
We got it.
What are we
We've
talking
not
about?
remotely solved the issue of whether or not Calaveras could solve your murder. Monica, do you have any
Didn't
strong
Michi kind of
feelings about?
definitively say like, no?
I
Would
think
try,
so.
but
Oh
no.
yeah, I think Michi and I both agreed no, and I think I'm putting her below Pets for my ranking. Where do you guys feel she belongs?
Yeah, I'm not going to argue any further. I think that's perfect fine.
Okay.
I don't know, but yeah.
All right. Now we have Koan, Cassie.
Gosh.
Like, girl is not bright. I don't know that I can put her
Hear me
any
out.
higher than.
Hear me out.
I'm
Hear
ready.
me out.
I'm ready.
She
I'm
was
ready.
the next victim.
Next victim? Really?
You know what? Yes. I am with you. Yep.
Yeah. So like part of her whole character, and I think this also carries over into the manga, but maybe this is just my memory bleeding together as the second arc is also like low on my list of favorites. Like she gets in her own way tremendously. And that she's on the victim list because she's either gonna get killed for insubordination or she's gonna get her dumbass killed fucking around. If this is a filler episode, so let's imagine that there's a filler arc between the second and third, where like it's sort of like the filler arc between the fourth and fifth, where there's a transition of villains, and we have the like Dark Moon Kingdom dealing with the Deathbusters, and like maybe the Deathbusters are picking them off one by one, and Katsy's absolutely the first one who's gonna die. Like, 100%. Like,
I think
she's gonna tangle with Mehmet and die in 5 minutes.
Oh my god, Cat's first met, I would pay money to watch.
Yep. So I it's so funny because when you were like, she's the next victim, I had a completely different, but I think also plausible scenario in my head, which is
Share it with me.
I think Koan is the exact type of person who could get taken in by her own evil magical scheme. She knows that the specific scheme that they are doing this week is like fortune cookies, and the fortune will promise to bring you the thing that you've most wanted in your life, but actually the fortune is like stealing your energy or what have you. I think she'd still be like cracking open one of those fortune cookies. Like she just cannot stop thinking about like, getting the thing that she wants most in her life. Like I think even though she knows that like this is a scheme that they cooked up, she's also like, but what if?
Rip to the others, I'm built different.
Yeah, there's just
It's like nothing that'll happen to me because this is our scheme. But what if I really do get my wish?
Oh my god.
All right. Are we all good with next victim?
Yes. What?
Excellent.
She would open Pandora's box before Pandora. Yes, I agree.
All right. Oh, Saphir. Saphir.
This is a problem. He's a problem.
He's difficult because I don't necessarily know that I can see him solving a murder, despite I think he's fully capable of it. Like, he's a competent person. He's really smart. Got a fair amount of powers. Perfect baby girl. You are, in fact, correct. But, like, my guy is so depressed. I don't know if he's solving a murder.
He has gotten himself to where he is today by being depressed and passive, and putting other people before himself. This is not a man who is like positively motivated to make good changes in his life.
No,
this is a man who's like, bad things have happened to me, and Pest is like, I'm gonna make good changes in your life.
Like, I'm gonna make them for you. Oh my gosh. Yeah, he would be the next victim.
I think I don't know if he's gonna be the next victim because I think he is canny enough to be able to recognize that there is a danger and avoid it. I think he definitely won't try to solve your murder though.
Yeah. I don't think he would either.
Yeah, I think he goes in the is not going to try category after the Starlights, but before the people doing it for like baby or not involved reasons.
Yeah,
agreed.
Yep. It's more of a like, I gotta keep my fuck ass brother from trying to put his dick in things. So
yes, literally.
I can't help right. Like, this is so much not my problem. Yep. He's like,
he might go have a 3-day nap about it because he liked you and you're dead. But you're dead, and solving your murder, even if he could and even if he had time, won't bring you back. So why not nap about it for 3 days?
Yeah, pretty much. All right.
I think Rubius is also not going to try to solve your murder because I think he just doesn't give a shit.
He is the murderer.
Sure Rubius is not the murderer?
I think he is the murderer.
I don't think he is though. Like, I don't.
America, explain.
Yeah, please explain.
Okay. I don't think he is positive. Like, I don't think he's actually motivated to kill people because that would require effort on his part. I think he wants all the positive outcomes of villainy with no effort put in whatsoever. Like, all the villainy he tries to do is like minimally seducing 4 girls and then asking them to put in tremendous amount of efforts for him that he can profit off of. I don't think he actively is like angry at people or like petty towards them. I think he just cares about himself. And like, if someone died, okay, they fucking died.
Are you implying that Rubius joined a terrorist group for clout?
Yes. Yeah. That is what I think he's the one eco-terrorist who could give a fuck about the environment.
I'm trying to remember if that's accurate or not.
So in the manga, he doesn't really have a characterization.
Yeah, he does have a character. He's like, I'm evil. Here's my name is Rubius. Here is my plan. 2 pages later, he's dead. That's what happens to henchmen in the manga.
Yep.
But I'm trying to remember if he had a motivation in the anime that's sort of loosely based on, because sometimes they have a stated motivation where they're like, I'm going to level up my witch power. Like, that's the whole Infinity arc. I'm going to get to fuck the space ghost. Like that.
Basically. And I just want to point out something that's real quick. In this promo art for the 2nd season, you can't even see him.
Well, because he's blending in with Wise Man's red hand.
Yeah, he sure is disappearing into the chair and Wise Man's hand. Yeah.
And I'm like, how unimportant are you that you don't even show up on the poster?
Yeah, the person who designed this and decided to put two characters who wear dark colors with dark hair up against a dark background, and put the red-haired character up against a red hand. Like, that person did not think things through.
Or they just in particularly hated his character, one of the two.
That could be.
I just always
Frankly, I
find that art funny.
Can't say I blame them.
Fair.
No, he's a fuckboy.
Yeah.
He deserves nothing.
So where do we want to put him? I think is the murder.
If you both think he's the murderer, I'm fine with it. I don't think
Yeah,
I can't put murder past him.
Yeah, I think he's the murderer, which may still also be for clout.
Yeah, for clout. Murderer for clout. How about that?
Yeah, I think murderer, but I think he's less motivated about the murder than Jadeite, Zoisite, and Beryl, who are like actively petty and angry and like really want to do a murder.
Agreed.
He's like doing it for the gram.
He's doing it for the gram. You want to be on documentaries. All right, so who's next?
The Prince Demand.
He's the
murderer.
He's
the murderer. No question. No question.
It is a crime of
He's
passion.
a murderer.
He is the murderer. He is 100% the murderer, and he's crying about it afterwards, because he loved you and he had to murder you. Like he's the murderer.
Where do we? Yeah.
All right, Esmeralda, that bitch.
Now she in particular.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry,
Go ahead.
this is like she in particular is that bitch with the face.
She is that.
Now, would she care enough to find a murderer? But that would mean a lot of attention on her. So she might like that. So that's where I'm at, where I'm like, because that's the thing. Can't you see her at like a press conference being like, yes, investigating the murder?
I do.
Are you arguing that she is both the murderer and doing her best but won't solve your murder because she's the murderer?
Yes,
Is
at
that
the
what you're
exact same
arguing?
time. Yes.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I'm okay with
I
that
don't
too.
think we can. I don't think we can put her icon in both categories, but we will know that that's what it means.
Technically, because she is the murderer, she goes in the murderer category. But in the
Yes.
plot of the episode, she is busy pretending she is not the murderer. Like,
Yes.
It's one of those plots where like the whodunit is not necessarily tracking down the person who did. It's the murder, like dinner party murder mystery style, where you have to deduct which one of the guests
Which
is
one of
actually
them?
the murderer.
Is the murderer? Yep.
And that, yes. And Loki, don't worry. She won't get her hands dirty. She wears gloves.
Yeah, which is one of the
Absolutely.
clues in the murder
So
mystery.
true.
So true.
And then you find it pretty late they discover it pretty late in the episode, and then you as the viewer are like, wait, hold on, who had the fancy leather gloves on at the beginning? Like, yeah, it's one of those.
It's her. She was the murderer. All right, Wise Man's the murderer.
Wise man's
Yeah.
murderer.
Like it both cosmically, and he will enjoy it. He's just a chaos entity who just wants to make every world burn. All right, Black Lady.
There's red feathers all over.
Now,
murderer to me.
I do think, because we discussed her in the stream, we discussed Chibiusa, and we were like, Black Lady probably represents the aspect of her that like could absolutely be the murderer. I think so, and I think as far as categorization, I have to put her weirdly sort of in a similar category. Demand of like, this is a crime of passion.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think pettiness drives her. I don't think her evilness has been like, while I think it is motivated by the fact that like she does not have good emotional regulation. I don't think that's pettiness like it is with Jadeite and Zoisite and Beryl. I think it's more getting really upset and getting really carried away with it. Not crime of passion in terms of like, oh, I love you so much that I murdered you, but I was just so taken away with my anger that I murdered somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, emotional regulation, not exactly her strong suit.
No.
She murdered Luna P.
She murdered Luna P.
She murdered Luna P, which I'm still like, but Luna P was your little robot buddy that loved you. Like, I'm still traumatized about it.
That's fair. And Loki brings up a good point. her murder would be, if I can't have him, no one can. Because I'm sorry, I could see her doing that towards Usagi.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But
Yeah.
she would kill Mamoru so that Usagi couldn't have him.
Well,
And
to be
then
clear, is Mamoru's cosmic role in the story.
Yeah. And would unmake herself in the process.
Yeah.
Yes. 1000%.
She would finish the deed and be like, yes, and then be like, shit, and then do something.
I succeeded! Oh, no.
Time paradox.
Yep.
All right, who's next? Oh, the twins.
Twins, Cyprien and Tillo.
Oh, they're the
However
murderer.
hell you
Like,
pronounce it.
Yeah.
They're the murderer.
They're the murderer.
I don't think they got a ton of characterization, and the
Mm-mm.
characterization they did have is kills your ass. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
They're the murderer.
Even in the manga where all the Witches 5 motivation is basically just they either want to fuck Fahrenheit or they
want to be the very best, like no one ever was.
No one ever was. Like those are the
Physically
two motivations, and then like, sometimes they have a little other side in a hobby in which they can compete with the Sailor Senshi.
Like
Villoy's
Babette
thing
wants
is
to be an idol.
Villoy's got like,
Yeah.
but Cyprien and Patrol are like basically just Miss kills her ass. That's it. That's their whole thing. They got some blue and red lasers, and you're gonna die. That's
Yep. Yes. Good night, Loki, also. And then Sailor Denzel brings up a great point. Hear me out. The two get killed off screen.
to be fair to them, they are the most powerful of the Witches 5. They were the
They
one.
are. Yes.
They were the character within spitting distance of becoming a magus, which we don't actually know what exactly you need to do that. But she's like level 999, so I guess that's the next level.
Yeah.
Well, she needed like one more XP, but it didn't happen.
Yeah. Okay, Tolu?
All right. Telu, what do we think?
She's the plant witch.
She's intelligent. She knows what she's doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, genuinely, I think if she had put just a tiny bit more work into her plan or work together, they could have won. I think the Witches 5, if they had actually worked together instead of fighting each other. Cat. But I think, honestly, they would have been able to win if they had worked together. And I think Tolu had a great idea with the plan.
It's true. Tolu did have a very successful henchman plan.
Yeah.
Which but I think that makes her a very good murderer. I don't know if she's going to solve it.
I don't know if we have a category for like is the murderer and would get away with it.
Yeah.
Like,
there's no superstar.
Yeah, that's again splitting a little bit of hairs there.
Yeah, so we'll just put her in the good, and they will kill you.
She will kill you. Yeah, I would put her in front of the twins on account of like,
characterization.
Yeah,
sure. All right. What's her face? Kalanite, Udiel, whichever one she is.
She's interesting. She's
that's Udiel. Yeah.
Thank you.
I
always get them mixed up.
Will kill you. She doesn't care about anybody. She barely cares about the people she's supposed to care about.
Yeah.
She doesn't even take care of Hutaru. She practically hates her.
Oh wait, that's Kalanite. Udiel is like.
Oh wait, is that the one from the Marine Cathedral?
Yes, Udiel has the weird. Udiel has like a gun, and she has the whole scene. She gets so much filler time. She's got the little glasses. She has the car.
She'd be the Starseeds one. She'd be the one that Haruka is to me.
Yeah.
Because think about it. She was always about going. Sorry, I stopped halfway through. She's always about going and like being like, oh, I'm just gonna burst my way through it. She literally has one that like is just like a door. Like she is the type of character that would just take everybody's starseed and then try to find the right one.
Oh yeah. You think that she would be motivated to solve a murder, but in a get revenge way?
Yes.
Okay.
She's a petty bitch. She's a petty bitch. Out of those Witches 5 are the most petty bitches of the entire show.
Okay. I could see her in the let the galaxy cauldron sort it out category.
All right. I'm good with that. Because I don't think there's any other way that she is successfully solving your murder And I think
Ooh.
she's also the lowest ranked of the witches. She's like
I-
level 67
So
or
I
whatever.
just realized that we got our characters confused. The character who is currently at the top of so at the bottom, the first character there, that's Udiel with the glowing glasses. That's who we just talked about. The one
Got
next with the forehead, that's Kaylin.
Visually, my brain cannot, like, I specifically have face blindness just about those two characters. So I'm like, I know who they
Yeah.
each are. Tell me which one is which.
Udiel has her little rectangle spectacles, and Kaelinite has the tits and the forehead.
Big boobies, big forehead. Got it.
Yes, both of those things, yeah.
All right.
Udiel has the pants. Kaelinite has the fuck me dress.
Yes.
Got it.
All right.
All right,
what
now
do we
this is
think of her?
Kaelinite. Who is the murderer?
Is
Yeah,
the murderer.
Oh,
Oh,
she's
she's the
absolutely the
murderer.
murderer.
Yeah.
She's the murderer. She's in the petty category. The other
Yeah.
petties.
Yeah. Michi was pointing out she didn't care for Hotaru. She didn't care for anything other than herself and, getting to fuck Fahrenheit.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, Mistress Nine. I think she's cosmically the murderer.
Yeah, 100%. Mehmet?
Mehmet.
Oh, but hear me out. I think she's an interesting character.
Okay.
Because-
I think she's the next victim, but you give me your argument.
She's the next victim when she's boy crazy, but when she's actually working and actually puts effort in, she could solve the crime. But she's boy crazy.
We don't have a category for attempts the murder and fucks up.
How advanced?
We don't. Because
We don't.
Mehmet is in the category of attempted murder,
Yeah.
unsuccessful murder. Mehmet concocts a plan to commit a murder. It's too complicated. She only sees it about halfway through, gets distracted by competing with Venus or some shit, or like some other petty concern, fucks it up, and they get away. So
I agree.
So either she is the murderer on account of attempted murder, or she's the next victim.
Oh, this is so hard. What do you think? We'll let you be the decider, Relia.
I think I do love the idea that she attempts the murder and like fail, but I think as far as like drawing a middle ground between attempts the murder and fails or could solve the murder, I'm going to root for her being the next victim.
Okay.
I think
Right.
I think let's just say she could be the next victim either by the way that she failed at doing the murder or by attempting to solve the murder, getting distracted by competing with Venus over something. And so I'm going to slap her in next victim.
But
And
I like that.
I think she got into something she shouldn't have gotten into.
Yeah. It's like how her brakes went out or whatever. Knowing that's Udiel. I keep mixing
Yes,
them
Udiel.
up.
Yeah, Udiel.
I need to rewatch that season.
Doesn't Udiel get punked by Mehmet?
Yes. That's why I was mixing them up. And she comes on the radio and she's such a little snarky bitch. All right. Who's next? Professor Tomoe?
Professor Tomoe.
Is the he just is.
Yeah, he's not a victim. He's not going to try to solve anybody's murder. I don't think he starts eating them all and letting the cauldron figure it out. Like, I think he's the murderer.
You think he's the murderer? Okay. Because of what he does and like how he. Then again, he has no good actions except for that tiny little scene that we see in between supers and stars.
Oh, where they time travel to the past before he became evil. And
Yes.
it's like, all right, you can take my daughter.
Yes.
Yeah. That's him in the past.
Like, that's about it.
There was once a time where he maybe wouldn't be the murderer.
Once upon
Where he
time
was
has
where he
long
was
since
hot.
passed.
Yeah.
All right. So what
All right,
category?
Nope. He's the murderer.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. We'll put him in. I think he's down in the near Mistress 9 category in that he doesn't really particularly have any motivation, like strong motivation for that individual murder, but he's got a general thing that he's pursuing, an evil goal.
Yeah.
All right. Villoy with her cool hat. Character traits. Best hat.
I was gonna say,
yes,
remind
truly
me.
best hat.
Remind me. Of
Veloy is the Mercury one. She got the ice
Yep.
power. She has
She's the ice
cool
one.
hat. She's
Thought
in
we already
the-
had her.
in the Mugen computer lab. She's got the model in the manga. She has the model Tau Star system.
Not
It
the
makes
second
everyone-
season Mercury, the third season Mercury. Now I'm
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah, she's the third season Mercury.
Yep.
She sets up the situation in which Mercury has her single coolest moment in the entire series, where she jumps out of the window, transforms on the way down, and lands in the pool. Like
That is her one badass moment.
Yep, this is Veloy. And I'm trying to remember
Can
if
we
she
talk
got
about
like
Mew Veloy, who's gorgeous?
Damn.
Wow.
God damn.
she has her nanites. She has her nano machine.
Right. Sailor Denzel.
Sailor Denzel just posted.
She got nanobots. I feel like
she could solve it, but she just doesn't want to. I think I agree with that.
I agree with Sailor Denzel.
All right, so she definitely will not try to solve your murder. She just doesn't care.
Not at all. She could have solved it in 10 minutes.
She could have. Isn't gonna.
No. All right, we've got Cercer.
Is the murderer? Or? No, is the murderer? I don't know. She's interesting because she's so differently written to me in the manga versus the anime.
Yeah. Sarah is the Venus one, right?
Yeah, she.
Yeah.
Soleil,
So like,
Soleil, the Fire Master.
so like, in the manga, she has a like hesitant leader of the Amazoness quartet, the asteroid group, is coming into her role as Chibiusa's sort of like the way Venus is. And so like you get to see the beginnings of the hero there, but she's not done cooking.
Yeah.
So this is such a hard call because there's not a ton of character there.
No.
And I just am not a huge Super S fan, so I also don't remember what her deal was as a villain.
I will say that they're, for the most part, the Amazoness quartet are not very distinct from each other, except that they're distinct in the way that like you could give them each Spice Girl names, like in the way that
not
there's
wrong.
like she's the posh Spice, she's the baby Spice, she's the sporty Spice, she's probably, I don't know, the scary Spice maybe, or the ginger Spice, but they're not. Oh, they're not. Other than Pala Pala, who does have a distinct, terrifying personality, she does. It's delightfully crazy. They don't. They're not very distinctly characterized. They're also like teenagers who don't want to do what Zirconia wants them to do.
Yeah, literally. And so should we just group them as villains into one category?
Again, I'm going to make an exception for Pala Pala. Pala Pala is very distinctly the murderer.
Yeah,
and
100%.
She freaks out the other Amazonas. Like there's one where so I was rewatching one of the episodes, and it's one where she is all the Amazonas are hanging out, not doing anything, and Zirconia is like, "Why aren't you doing anything?" And Pala Pala's like playing with dolls in a dollhouse, and the other Amazonas are like, why is she so incredibly childish? She's just playing with dolls. And Pala Pala's playing with the dolls, and she makes one of the dolls like murder the other doll, like head in all of a sudden, and blah blah blah. And then Pala Pala's like, "Oh hey Zirconia, what do you need me to do? I'll go do it." And I'm like, yeah, she scares the other Amazonas. I'm like, she's the murderer for sure.
She's terrifying. Yeah, so she's the murderer.
But for the others, I'm happy to just say that because they are teenagers who don't do anything, because they're in that teenager phase, I'm happy to group them all into try to solve your murder.
Yeah,
If
I'm
that's
okay
where we
with
wanna
that.
go with it.
Yeah. You're not their dad, and they will not listen to you.
Nope. They didn't kill him, so why should they solve them?
Oh,
All right, Fisheye.
Fisheye's not solving your fucking murder.
Doesn't give a shit.
Fisheye doesn't give a shit.
Fisheye would
Put
literally.
Fisheye directly behind Yaten, because the two of them.
You're right. Ahead of Taiki. You're right.
Yeah.
Would have the greatest cup of tea together.
Yeah.
Fisheye would not care.
Tiger's Eye.
would care more than Fisheye a little bit.
But but how many brain cells did he bring to this investigation?
There was one between the trio, and they all.
Yeah,
that's not fair. Hawkeye. I will go to bat for Hawkeye.
He is doing his best.
What do you think?
I don't know. I don't know that he would try and solve it. I don't necessarily think he's the murderer. I don't necessarily think he's the next victim either. But I don't think he's trying to solve anybody's murder. And I don't think he's Starseed them all. I don't think he's like, oh, I'm attached to someone and I would burn everything down to solve their murder.
Not that type of villain.
No. I think he just doesn't care.
Yeah. I agree.
Right.
What category do you want?
All right, we're putting him in definitely won't try to solve your murder, and he can hang out with Villoy. And they're just here to be pretty and have crazy accessories. His fucking razor blade earrings.
Okay. Amazing.
Those tights, and you're talking about the earrings?
Honestly, everything about his fit is fantastic.
Immaculate.
Yep. Zirconi is the murderer.
The murderer.
Yeah.
There's no other role that Zirconia falls into. Zirconia is the murderer.
Absolutely.
All right. Hawkeye.
All right, let's hear this.
I don't know. Like Hawkeye is the responsible eldest who is like, I think has that sense of responsibility towards things, and I think that would also extend to like a person that he has met that then all right, well, he formed a slight emotional bond, and now because he's the eldest who believes he's responsible for everything, will also be responsible for solving this person's murder. I don't think he could do it. I don't think that any of the Amazon trio are particularly competent at a high level, but I think he would try anyway.
Sounds about right.
And he'd do it in
he's like the least messy of the three messy gays.
Yeah. It's like messy.
Yeah.
That's him. Yes.
That's him. He's the one who's like, someone has to drive the car, someone has to get us to events on time.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, someone needs to remind everyone else to take their meds. So I'll put him in the category with people who are, I think I want him ahead of the cats.
Really?
Yeah.
I think that's about right.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have to understand he has been wrangling Fisheye and Tiger.
Fair. Very fair.
Time untold. He has the capability to like organize and get things done.
Yes. Okay, that's very fair.
Who's next? All right, the next one is Nehelenia.
Oh, Lord.
Oh.
That's a complicated character. Where's Celine?
Yeah.
Here's my feeling. Like, Nehelenia does not actually go out of her way to murder people out of a desire to murder people. She's been told that like no one will love her, and if she doesn't like keep up a constant flow of energy, she will lose her beauty, and even her reflection won't love her anymore, and like she will just be the worst and suffer. I don't think if she had an episode where she got attached to someone, I definitely don't think she would want to murder them. Quite the opposite. I think she's never had a friend before, and I think that she would starseed them all, let the cauldron figure it out if she like experienced a friendship.
If she experienced friendship, I agree. But the problem is we only see her experience friendship for like 3 seconds. So it's so hard to tell.
She had a weird thing with Galaxia in between the two episodes.
She did.
She did.
I think when you look at as far as villains and their villain motivations, she's not in the category of being herself like a manifestation of pure chaos where like she cosmically wants to destroy things. She doesn't. She was given an outside motivation for why she has to do things that serve chaos, which is you have no friends and even your reflection won't like you anymore if you don't constantly feed it energy. I don't think she is a murder entity in the way that Wise Man is a murder entity or Metalia is a murder entity. And frankly, Beryl is not a murder entity either. Beryl is in the murderer category because she like is a petty bitch. And I think that the only people in Nehelenia being petty towards are Usagi, who like broke her mirror and she's so mad about it. and Jupiter, who like is kind to her and she freaks out about it. I don't know. I just think that I don't think she's necessarily destined for murder.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
Like she's really not murderous. Like she kind of got a almost fairy tale villain vibe to her, what with like the mirror and the beauty motivation and all that. And it's not really a like kill 'em all type deal. So like if someone theoretically close to her, like, I don't know, Tiger's Eye gets killed, do you think she'd be motivated to solve his murder?
No, she's not.
No.
She doesn't care about him. No.
Yeah,
he's not her friend.
he's not her. Yeah, so it's a difficult question. In this filler episode that we're making up, does she make a little friend who then gets killed?
Right. I think that
does
yes.
the little friend get killed and it's her fault? No, she's
Don't break my heart like that.
still an all-powerful witch, like from space. Being around her is not exactly not a hazard.
It could happen.
It could
Don't
happen.
break my heart
Yeah.
like that.
Remember,
Gets killed like by the accident of circumstances that potentially she could stop, but didn't, either wasn't there or looked away or was distracted or whatnot, and then now would that motivate her to solve that murder? I'm asking some real deep, real hypothetical character development questions right now.
it's like I could see it. Because especially in that scenario,
I think I could see an argument for 3 different categories, which are Starseed them all, do their best
Okay.
but won't solve it, or definitely won't solve it. Like, she's not the next victim. She's I don't think she's the murderer. I also don't necessarily think she will, through deductive means, solve your murder. I think she could do it through just like killing anybody who had a part in your murder. And I think if she made a little friend once, she would do that. I could also see her, trying and not solving your murder. Though again, I do think she would do it through like killing whoever she had to. But I also could see, we know that she does not handle negative emotions in healthy ways, and she doesn't handle her depression very well. And I could also see her, like, especially if she felt that she like was part of the reason that the little friend ended up dead. Definitely see like her depression about it causing her to just be like, I'm gonna lock myself away in 10 mirrors for all of eternity now and be sad. Which I think is also a thing she could definitely do. And she could be with Saphir in the category of, no, I've taken a nap about it for 5 years.
I know what you mean, though.
She does tend to hide herself away when she's upset.
Yeah, and she wants
Kind
to
of
be
a
left
thing.
alone.
Yeah, I think I have to go with your last assessment that, like, even if she did have a positive motivation, she wouldn't know what to do with it. And so, like, her response to let's imagine this: there's a murder happens. If she's not attached to that person, she doesn't give a shit, right? She's just not going to participate.
Yeah,
If she is attached to them, it's going to fuck her up because she's not very good at emotionally regulating, so she's not going to help.
Yes.
So I think she goes into the not going to help, not going to solve your murder category.
Yes.
Yep.
And I think she needs to go like right in the middle.
I've put her next to Saphir because they're not helping because mental health.
Fair enough.
We've got not helping because petty, they're petty. Not helping because mental health. Not helping because they don't care. Not helping because baby. Not helping because teenager. Not helping because not their job. And then not helping because cosmically this is all conceptual.
Right.
We have categories. All right. Oh, now we come to Monica's favorite group, the Shadow Galactica.
Yes.
Your head picks right up. All right, so
my vote for Galaxia, of course, is second category, Starseed them all.
Starseed.
I put it in there for her. I did.
I love that you did that.
That's fantastic. I put that on there and I was like, let's see what you're doing. So look, I'm a very big fan of pointing out that Galaxia is honorable, and we also know that she is capable of developing like a real relationship.
Yes.
I think she's surrounded herself with bad people and has a bunch of toxic coping mechanisms and is going about it the wrong way. And like, in the episode we did on her for the full Mooncast, I talked at length about how part of her tragedy as a character and part of her motivation is like wanting to fill the void in her. Like when she dies, and Usagi she does not get defeated. She gives up. She has that painful ass line where she's just, the thing I want is right here, and it's so beautiful and so bright that it's out of my reach. And then she just gives up and dies. Realizes her whole quest to do this was just actively trying to fill a void. And in that defeat, you see the kernel of a person who is fully capable of making a friend. And I think if you're her friend, that is the best and scariest situation you could possibly be in.
Yeah. Yeah, she cares about you. She cares about you.
She's going to care about you so fucking much to the point of being maybe a little bit oppressive. And like someone is going to be rude. Someone might be slightly rude to you and they're going to turn. She's just going to obliterate them. Like, person at a bus stop.
She's going to blow up a planet about it.
Yeah. Like, person at a bus stop was rude. Now they're space dust. Like, how dare you speak to my one friend this way?
Oh my god!
Is, like, absolutely at the top of the
exactly
category.
How that's gonna go.
So, friend is gonna get murdered, and that's the end of the world.
Oh my god!
Yeah, 100%.
All right, who is next?
Aluminum Siren is next.
Is the victim?
Yeah, I also thought so. Bless your heart.
I love her. Don't get me wrong. I love her. Is the victim?
Yeah, I don't. Okay, so if she's not the victim, she is going to try and solve your murder and fail.
Yeah.
It's one of those two options. So, like, either she is next to the chopping block, or she is completely fucking up the attempts to help you.
One of the two.
She has picked up that brain cell and she is carrying it as far as she can manage.
She is trying.
Which is unfortunately not very far.
Not at all.
Yeah. Do we think she is better or worse at it than Yuichiro?
Slightly better.
Slightly.
She does have powers, which gives her a leg up on him.
She does. That's true. That's true. She does have powers.
All right. Iron Mouse.
All right. Iron Mouse.
Biggest victim of victims.
I think she definitely will not try to solve your murder.
Not at all.
Again, either she's not helping or she is the victim.
She is one of the two.
Yeah. Yeah, I think given that we also have Tenyanko to sort, I think she's the next victim as far as Iron Mouse.
Yeah. And the Tenyanko just doesn't give a shit about you.
She does not. She does.
She just doesn't. She doesn't.
I don't think she's the murderer. I think she
doesn't, and put her right there with Yatem and
that's
fine. It's just this.
Yeah.
There's a murder, and the three of them have gone to get smoothies.
Absolutely.
Could not.
Absolutely. Like, and probably they're like looking at photos of their murder scene and they're like, that outfit though, what were they thinking?
Oh, girl, I wouldn't want to be caught dead in that. Not like you.
Oh, girl. Caught dead in it. Rough. Worst way to go. Dressed badly.
Oh my god. And then last.
All right. And finally, Lead Crow.
Oh, hear me out.
I'm here for
Lead Crow solves your murder.
Go on.
I think she's definitely either will solve it or will do your best, but I'm completely open to her solving it.
So again, we're doing Shadow Galactica personalities based on the 90s show, because very much like the manga, they are like, I'm Lead Crow, here's my plan, now I'm dead.
Yeah.
So, but in the manga, she is hands down the most confident member of Shadow Galactica.
Easily.
And like she concocts plans that work consistently, and then they get fucked up by her dumbass girlfriend.
Yep. That is not wrong.
They either get fucked up by her dumbass girlfriend, or they get fucked up by the fact that no plan survives contact with the enemy. But not for lack of trying. So I fully believe that Lead Crow is entirely capable of forming a relationship with a person enough to care, and then have the ability to solve it.
As long as the Aluminum Siren isn't helping.
Is not helping. this is the B plot of an episode where like the A plot is about, I don't know, something else. And the B plot was about the villain solving an unrelated murder. And at the end, she remembers she has to like steal someone's starseed and steals it from the murderer.
Oh, love that. Love
That
that.
it so much.
All right.
Yeah, they should hire me to write episodes of a show that's no longer running.
We want it back running.
You should. I'm here for it.
That's called fan fiction.
Yes.
And I'm writing a book. I don't have time for music.
That's how that goes.
Yes. All right. We finished.
All right. What we are left with is we have a small but very trustworthy cast of people who will, in fact, solve a whole ass murder case. We've got Neptune, we've got Endymion, we've got Pluto, we've got Mercury, we've got Kakyu, we've got Leadcrow, we've got Berthier, we've got Saturn, and we've got Mochiki's girlfriend, Reika. Love that for her. I'm honestly delighted. We've got our very impassioned group of people who will starseed them all and let the cauldron figure it out. That's Galaxia, that is Uranus, that is Mars, that is Nephrite, that is Kunzite, and that is Udial.
It's Udial.
Kalinite, killer forehead.
It's Udial.
Not Kalinite. Yep, Udial. We've got a whole stable of people who sure are giving it a go, including one very determined child, 2 Normans, 1 overly responsible eldest brother, 3 cats just doing their best with paws, and a bevy of people who are not terribly bright or are not terribly experienced at planet Earth.
One of the dead.
Yep. Then we've got just a lot of people who are not making this their problem. Like, we've got some people who are real petty about it, some people who have gone off to be depressed, some people who really don't care about any of this shit. 1 baby, 1 child, 3 teenagers, 1 mom, and 1 divine entity.
And a partridge in a...
Right. We've got some people who got involved with some things that they shouldn't have. Got some people who were born to be the victim of the murderers. We've got some people who just have no other role that they can really occupy in a story. And we've got Ray's grandpa, who we just wanted to kill off.
Of all the villains, it was him.
Then we've got 1 teenaged murder hobo, 2 people for whom no amount of therapy would be 4 people who are petty enough to kill someone, 2 people who are doing it for the grant, 2 people who are doing it to level up in their cult, and then some people who have no purpose but to do murder.
Yes. Agreed.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is our tier list. I hope that you have enjoyed it. If you agree with our selections, awesome. That's because we're right about everything. If you don't agree with our selections, awesome. We're not right about everything, but do sound off. Make your counter arguments in the comments. We definitely would love to hear them. I will reply to you if I love your argument. I will absolutely give. I'm willing to entertain anyone's argument about any character. I'm here for it. I love this series. I genuinely love talking about like how people interpret characters. So as silly as these are, they are also like intellectually stimulating for me. Do sound off in the comments.
Yes, and remember, if it's part of the YouTube premiere, sometimes those comments disappear. I try to always be there for the premiere. Sometimes I can, sometimes I can't. But if not, please make sure to comment below so that we can read them and respond, and we try our best.
Twitch's Fates has commented, Toast Dad was a marriage candidate last time. Now he's in the same tier as Grandpa. You know, not every murder victim is someone that we would marry.
It's true.
It is.
And I think we have plans to do some more fun tiers. I think we're gonna do a different game next time because we've already done 2 sort of tier listy style.
Yeah, we
games,
want to keep
but
it mixed up.
Yeah, but you can absolutely expect us to rank characters in different ways in other episodes. And if you have suggestions for ways you'd like to see us rank them, who would you want to cook dinner for you? Or please be weird with it. we would solve a murder was one of Miss Michi's suggestion. We were like, yes.
Absolutely.
Anything that
Like,
gets
who
us
would
to
you want to be trapped on an
island with? Yeah. Think outside the box. If you've got a topic that you would like to hear us rank characters in, absolutely post that in the comments. We would love to hear it, and we can work that into our schedule. So, if you want to figure out what other categories we could possibly put Kenji Papa into, please give us some suggestions.
This is a Kenji Papa Stan account.
You know what? We're here for it. It turns out we're all here for a bunch of these incredibly like powerful women who have their shit together, and also like, one very wealthy dad.
Oh my gosh. But I love how it came out. It was fantastic. And
Yep, it turns out almost all of the Glasses characters got murdered. That's a sheer coincidence. They just happen to all be sitting together, except for Udiel, who rose above it by having the reflective glasses of a person who is evil.
Oh, that's funny. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, let's go ahead, wrap this up. I just need to find my notes. Where did I put my notes? Sorry, Logan. I know this is the part that I cut out when I'm editing. Oh, but yeah, we decided that this show is going to go up on YouTube, by the way. We all talked as a group, and it is going to go up on YouTube. And by the way, I have been trying to get a feeling of when to post on Moonie Mondays. I did get a note you guys like Moonie Monday. You like having content on Monday. But what time? So you guys can either sign off in the comments if you like till it's 7 on Eastern, or if you want it earlier in the day, maybe you want to listen as you drive into work. Like, you let us know what time would you like to have it posted. And then you guys want to plug yourselves and anything you're doing?
If you want to see more of what I'm up to, you can follow me in a bunch of places. I now have enough followers on Blue Sky that I'm on Blue Sky now, but I don't know that I'm going to be posting anything that our audience would be interested in. But hey, if you want to follow me, I'm at Dice Wizard there. And I'm also at Dice Wizard on Tumblr.com. I mostly talk about my other hobbies on those things. If you look at my bio, you'll see what I'm into. And if that's the thing you're interested in as well, you can go ahead and follow me. There are also links to other shows I'm on in those places. If you are interested in things that are not Sailor Moon, I have many varied interests, and I do a bunch of different stuff. So if you're interested in some tabletop RPG stuff or whatever, hit me up. I'm trying to think of all my other shows are not at all
Sailor Moon.
Not even remotely Sailor Moon related. Though I do have a whole podcast that explains the tabletop role-playing game Exalted, which if you like Sailor Moon, you'll probably all like. It is referenced as a source material in a bunch of the books, whatever. It's called The Systematic Understanding of Everything, and you can find that at exaltcast.com. It is a deep rabbit hole. Listen at your own risk.
All right. And then Relia?
Yeah, you can find me. Lots of places on the internet. You can find me on Instagram at Relia Lacadamon. You can find me on Twitter at Shazari. I did recently get a Blue Sky. I will be on there just as Relia. I got in early enough to get my preferred. Very nice about it.
Nice. Now I'm gonna go follow you.
Do it. I have no followers, I don't think. Oh, maybe like the person who gave me the referral code. But I also haven't posted anything. I am on Tumblr at Life Crystals is my personal. I just repost memes and cool stuff that I like. Art Crystals is my art account. I just post art on there. And that's basically the places that you can find me on the internet. You can also obviously find me here once a month playing games with you. Find me at conventions. If you're on the East Coast, probably at them. I'm cosplaying Sailor Moon, or I'm cosplaying Genshin Impact, or I'm cosplaying whatever latest thing has struck my fancy and I can't get out of my head until I cosplay it. That's how that goes. But those are the places you can find me on the web.
All right. And then this brings us to the end of our show. As always, I have been your host, Michi. You can find my personal socials at MEW21, _cosplay. For the Eternal Mooncast podcast, you can listen right now wherever podcasts are available. They are going to be taken down at the end of August, and we are going to be strictly a YouTube and Twitch only platform. This was just due to a lot of things, but right now that is what I'm able to manage because I want to make sure that we are putting out quality and that we are giving you guys a quality show. If we ever do get a chance, maybe we will go back in the expansion into Spotify and Apple Podcasts and that. But right now, we just need to focus on the show and make sure that we are doing 110% for you guys. As always, we appreciate any likes, comments, subscribes, however you would like to support the show in your own way. As we were saying, this is now a monthly segment, Bishoujo Senshi Slumber Party, where we do different games. It is always going to be the three of us or some combination of the three of us. As always, these are just our personal opinions. We celebrate all respectful Moonie opinions on the show. Now, next month, we have a very, very busy month. Next month is going to be Loki month. So it is going to be our producer, basically, Loki, is going to be on camera instead of behind the scenes, which is usually where you would find Loki or like hiding behind. So what's going to happen is we're going to review the 3 Sailor Moon movies from the 90s. We're going to review Hearts and Ice, Promise of a Rose, and The Black Dream Hole. I will be posting more. I will post like our schedule for September after I'm able to talk to these two and finalize it. But we're going to have 3 episodes of the podcast as well as another Bishoujo Senshi Slumber Party next month. So be ready. It's going to be a very busy month on this channel. All right. And otherwise, guys, thank you for joining the stream. Thank you for staying the whole stream or for however long you could. We just appreciate you guys just dropping in, saying hello, and just having fun with us.
We had fun. We hope you guys had fun too.
Yeah, it was a great time.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time. I will
All right.
on Instagram our schedule, and you will get starting the TikTok previews for the episodes for the podcast. All right, I think that's the last of it.
All right. Bye, everybody.